Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner, and y'all know why we're here. Okay? Y'all know why we're here because foolishness keeps happening all around. Okay? And Monique and DL and this whole fallout, and now we got Monique and Daddy doing IG lives and I love yous for real and all these things. We are here to watch Monique's live. Yes, we are here to watch the hour that Monique and Daddy had a conversation with everyone, and I was going to cut the video down, but I don't feel like it. Okay, I feel like let's hear her out in entirety, so no one can say, "Oh, we're misconstruing what you said." No, we're gonna all watch it together. Okay, all watch it together. So I hope everybody having a whole great hump day. Okay, because it's Wednesday. It's hump day. So again, I hope everyone is enjoying their hump day in some kind of way. I was enjoying mine. Okay, and now it's time to work. But thank you for those who are watching the live. Thank you to those who will be watching the replay. Okay, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Okay, the subscriber only chat is on because I did not feel like dealing with trolls. Okay, and trolls does not mean that your opinion differs from mine. Trolls mean trolls who come around to be chaotic. Okay, so again, people can have their own opinions or whatever. It's fine. But I want to avoid just the foolishness of people who ain't here to have a cool conversations. I that's the only reason why I have subscriber only chat on, which means you have to be a subscriber of my channel in order to comment in the comment section. Okay, but y'all know I am here. Okay, I am here or whatever. So yeah, subscribe to my channel. But not to just a comment. Okay, subscribe to my channel to watch my content, to be involved in the content or whatever. That's the reason to be around here and being a whole JayBird, and dot. Okay, you can also make sure to follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG and Twitter. Okay, y'all know like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good things we say in every single video. Okay, now this is the thing. Monique and DL had issues in Detroit on Saturday. A whole, a contractual disputes, a headliner disputes, to where Monique went on stage and said some things, and then DL responded to some things on IG, and Monique, a whole back and forth. Now, Monique and Daddy today went on her IG live to have a whole conversation, or what we thought would be a whole conversation strictly about this contract issue that she brought forth on stage. Okay. But hey y'all. Okay, y'all know the first 5 to 7 minutes we let folks come to the room so no one can come in late saying, well, what happened? Did I miss it? So the first, 5 to 7 minutes is the intro. Let folk come in, acknowledge who's in the chat, all those things. Okay. Monique do too much. I'm sorry, Monique do too so much. That's why no one wants to work with her now. Daddy my ass. The most you're doing it, man. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. I just heard about this. Right. Not daddy. And that's what you call that man. I like Monique, she just tells it like it is. I don't think she talks too much. Everyone has their own opinion. Hello to everyone that's around here. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna watch her whole live. We're gonna conversate. It's not a word, really. Have a conversation about her live. Okay, I have commentary about her live because that's the thing. Live watch alongs are fully Monique War Saga episode 6. I agree with that. Hager, hey, New York Kitchen Support. Hello. Hey, mom. Okay, but yeah, we're here to make sure to have a conversation. Oh, your first live? Not the father. Welcome to the live. Okay, we have a good time all the time around here. Okay, the plot thickens, the drama of it all. Okay, all up and through. I'm Hager. Hey. I'm trying to hey everybody as I'm going down. Monique and Daddy plan to attack a black community on stage, honey. That's what they said. That's what they said, not me. That is what they said. Okay. I wish people would stop calling their man daddy. It's cringy. I can't call no man daddy. It's weird. I don't think anyone else doing it. That's on them. But for me, it's weird. I just no. I just no. Thank you. I'm good. No, thank you. I appreciate you and what you do because the live would have worn me out. I knew I would not be watching. And sometimes it's fun to watch an hour live with me because I'm a crack jokes and talk the whole time. Okay, so that's why it won't be that bad. Okay, not that bad. When I'm waiting on that, it will be two. I kind of agree. I kind of agree. Okay. Well, screw DL Team Monique. Okay. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Okay. I'm trying to see. Hello to the chat. Team Monique. I saw her live, but was still confused. I thought she was talking in circles. Got me going in circles. Bum, 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 bum. That's what she was doing. Add me too. Hey, everyone. Hey, how can you be anyone? How can anyone be Team Monique? People can be Team Monique, but also know that sometimes your team member can sometimes be on some BS. And you have to say, you know what? I love you. I believe in you. But maybe do things this way next time. Okay. Hey. Happy teacher enjoying some summer break. Great for the teachers. Okay. Hey everybody. Hey. Hey. Hey, I'm not going to have to argue with anybody. Yeah, no one has to argue. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have our opinions around here, but no one really has to argue per se because it's like they're just opinions. No, you're not. I've learned now to give it, you know what I'm saying, a few minutes because people come in, what's going on? And I'm like, damn, I just started. Just got here. Okay. We back. Okay. Thank you for how well you covered this. I'm just trying to, do things for the people. Daddy's really ruining her rep and messing up her coins. DL comment on your Instagram. Yes, he did. I'll show that in a second. Thank you. Yes, I did reach 30K. It's been an exciting week. Okay. I just want Monique to succeed. She deserves it. I agree. I fully agree. I think everyone really wants her to make it, truth be told. Okay, hey. In my opinion, Monique has been through some entry issues, so she is not for the BS. I don't agree with the delivery, but I get it. I can get that. I agree with that. I think that's a great way to word it. Okay. Now we're going to get into the live of it all. Hold on, y'all. Of course, my best friend will call me when I'm on live. I'm glad I'm on live. Okay. So, we know. Yeah, thank y'all. Okay, 30K. I was like, yay! On Sunday, and I was today. Who not surviving Monique? Okay, I try to have thorough coverage as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? And try to be as non-biased. Oh, she biased, girl, whatever. But yeah, I want to get into where it started. Okay, because I feel like so much has happened. It's kind of weird. Why is my screen being weird? Okay, so let's get into the first thing that happened, and we're not gonna watch her whole live, not at the okay. But the little clip I have of right when she started, right when she finished, and then the in between, and then DL coming on stage. Let's look at this.
Let me say it again. The headliner. That's what the motherfucking contract says. Monique is to be the last motherfucking person on the goddamn stage. She is the headliner. That's what I signed the fuck up for. I'm 30 plus years in this motherfucking business, and I don't open for no goddamn body. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. But a nigga named Hughley turned into a bitch and said, I won't perform if she does that. I won't go out if she does that. Nigga, you open for the kings of comedy. I close for the queens of comedy, nigga. Detroit, my name is Monique. I love y'all, baby. Show!
Keep it going for Monique. The fuck I walk into? I swear, this is my first little show. I'm about to be at the Fox, and this shit turned into the Source Awards, nigga. I'm scared as a motherfucker. Oh, y'all ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg? show with a headliner ain't supposed to be the headliner. And y'all just egged it on. Go ahead! Y'all ain't shit. This ain't for, I ain't got no suit for this. Give it up one more time for Monique. Yeah, shit. It wasn't this smoky up here before. She brought all the motherfucking smoke. Niggas come to Detroit, but what do we bring out of people, nigga? What do we do? This, the melee at the palace, what do we do? What do we bring out, nigga? Is it the Faygo? Is it the juice? Is it the pop? Let's do it. Let's see what part 2 gonna look like. In this corner, standing 5'5", coming to the stage, man, got a radio show, one of the kings of comedy, man. Y'all all know what it is. Detroit, clap y'all motherfucking hands and show love. Clap y'all motherfucking hands and show love. And give it up right now for D.L. Hughley!
So I think some folks did not realize that after Monique went on and killed him in her performance, Dio had to go second. He had to follow that. Okay. Now the comedian who was going in between the host, Josh Adams, he's here in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? He's very, very funny. I tried to contact him. Have not heard back. Okay. But again, that was what Monique said on stage and whatnot. We then seen back and forth of them on social media, contract here, contract there, and all that stuff. Well, we're gonna also get into DL's response. Okay, because I want to play it all for y'all because that's what I do. Okay, I want to be sure that we all get the whole thing. And I kind of like hearing DL's response because I was like, ooh, Jesus. Okay, and after DL's response, we will get into Monique's live that happened about an hour ago. Okay, let's listen.
I work where I want to work and who I want to work for. I want to work with. I don't work because that is a very precious place to me. I've been offered a gig, a couple of gigs, 3 or 4 gigs. To work with Monique in LA, in Brooklyn, in Houston, and I turned them down because I didn't think it would work. So after talking to a lot of people, and one of the very people in this room about how things are different, 2 of the very people in this room, as a matter of fact, and how things are different, and look at how things are coming around, I decided it would be wrong for me not to give somebody a chance based on things that they'd never done to me. That would have been wrong to me. And when she talks, she goes on her diatribe and she talks about me having my feet under her table. That was at her invitation. I was doing a gig in Greenbelt, Maryland. She lived in Baltimore. She was having a fight party. It was, I think, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. And sure enough, I came to her table at her invitation. And it was a wonderful time. As a matter of fact, it was based on that interaction, along with talking to people, I decided that I would do these gigs. I decided I would do it. And now I know what Tyler Perry knows, I know what Lee Daniels knows, I know what Oprah knows, I know what Steve Harvey knows, I know what Charlamagne the God knows, I know what Netflix knows. Saying yes to Monique is an occupational hazard. Now, we're playing a gig in Detroit this weekend. I know I'm going on at 9:45. I leave the hotel. I get there around 9. Monique had just gotten there. She's supposed to be there at 8:40. She had just gotten there, gone at 8:40. She got there at 8:38. What Monique was trying to do was to slow walk the show. She didn't end up getting on for 30 minutes. The oldest trick in the world is, if I want to change the order and I don't have merit, I'll try to make people wait so long that everybody gets nervous and go, please, just go on so we can avoid a conflict. That didn't happen. Monique got on stage. Monique actually felt like she had merit. She would have done 1 of 3 things. Either she would have took it up with the promoter, and she did, and the promoter said, we're going on, and whether you go on or not, that's a different thing. You would have not done it, but she knew she had to get on stage, or she would have been in breach of contract, or she would have come to talk to me. She didn't ever, and I emphatically emphasize this, she never once talked to me. I haven't seen Monique in years. I didn't see her at the venue before, after, or during. I haven't spoken or seen Monique. So if you really thought that you had a legitimate contract dispute, you would have come to me and said, hey, I have this contract and you had this contract. Notice not one thing on that contract, not one person she has on that contract, not one thing happened. Do you know why? Because it wasn't legitimate. And she goes on stage and she proceeds to eviscerate me. Not just me, but Steve Harvey, the sexual, my wife, my dog later on in subsequent conversation. Let me ask you something. What did any of that have to do with an alleged contract dispute? What did Steve Harvey have to do with your contract? What did I have to do with your contract? What did my dog have to do with your contract? What does my wife have to do with your contract? You wrote your contract, you and your daddy. You proceeded to say things that were so patently insulting that it was galling. It was galling. You asked in subsequent conversations why I have a dog, a support dog, what kind of person has a support dog. I have that dog because my father died. My children and family decided they would get a dog from where he was from, and I named the dog after my father. I don't have a dog to keep people away from me. I have a dog so I have my father with me all the time. That is an act of love which you know very little about. You proceeded to assault my sexuality. You have the temerity to assault someone's sexuality, a man's sexuality, given who you lay next to. None of that had anything to do with alleged contract dispute. You could have taken that up with a lawyer. You would have gotten out. You could have not gone on stage, but you knew you didn't have a valid contract. And you do what you always have done. You tried to weaponize black femininity. You tried to turn that audience against me. You tried to burn everything down. Like you do all the time. Who calls Netflix and thinks I can get $10 million because I did the Queens of Comedy? Who thinks you can get on stage and still live off that? I was a king of comedy. You never hear me talking about it because in this business, like any other, it isn't what you have done, it's what you do. That show was one I signed on to do. I made the quintessential mistake, the horrible mistake that like Tyler Perry, like Lee Daniels, like Oprah, like all these people of saying yes to you. And it is an occupational hazard. It is my fault. I have learned my lesson. You didn't just, and the thing that bothers me the most isn't the things that you said, because I know who I am and I know what I do. And I have a pristine reputation. Everybody who knows me know what I'm about. It's this whole, my dear, my babies, I love you for real, which is so transparently false, it is ridiculous. But the thing that was really the most annoying, the thing that was really the most bothersome, is after a terrible couple of weeks where people were being slain in Buffalo, where people were being slain, kids are getting slain in school, and people had come to a comedy show to get away from all of their problems, you besieged them with yours. The one contract that isn't in dispute is the one that the audience had with us to entertain them. But every single time, more and more, you spend half of your time talking about your grievances and what you didn't get and who did this to you. Listen, when you burn things up and you sit back to watch the results of them, she's literally set that stage on fire, said the most incendiary things ever, and I had to go on stage. If she has the temerity to call me a coward would have left. A coward would have said, I can't go. You didn't even want to go on when you had a contract that you knew that not to be true. You made up this whole narrative that you knew not to be true, and you played that out in front of the audience. And then I had to go on behind you. And you know what you did? You sat back and you tried to watch your damage. You set the stage on fire and you watched what you've done. You know who does that? Arsonists do that. Arsonists set shit on fire and try to see the damage it drives. But I blame myself because I know now what I didn't before. Saying yes to you is an occupational hazard, one I will not repeat. I don't blame you. I wish you well. But when you do the things you do, when everything's about you, when you're vitriolic, when you have all these fights with all of these entities, it is you. Precious was not a movie. Precious was an autobiography. That is who you are, literally. You mad at the contract you and daddy wrote, your daddy? And I don't know why you call a man daddy and you pay for him. That's a son. Let's be clear. I am not angry with you. I'm angry with me. I did what I knew not to be true. But I'm going to tell you something. When you burn and you destroy and you wreck, you are not a queen of comedy. You're a queen of ashes. Now, while I'm going to go back to work and you get back to your kingdom of smoke.
Well, okay. Yeah. So that was his response on his radio show yesterday to what Monique said on stage after the back and forth of them on IG and all of that. So today, Monique posted on her IG that she was going to be going live. And I was like, oh, really? What's going on here? Mainly because a lot of folks was like, why didn't she just do that, before she went on stage? Why did she wait? Okay. So what she went and said on her IG page today was, hey, my sweet babies. Okay. Come live with me. Come live with us today at 2:30 p.m. And then she then tagged DL. Please be courageous enough to join us and listen in as well. We have listened to you for years. I love us for real. Okay. And I was like, ooh, not be courageous. Now, see, when I first read her post, I didn't have my glasses on. Okay. Couldn't see right. And I thought it said, be courteous enough. I'm like, okay, so maybe it's going to be some, some things, getting handled or whatever. Okay. But no, it said courageous enough, which means if you don't come, you're a coward. Okay. And so again, I'm like, honey, shots fired. But when I posted about it on my IG today, because I posted, Monique gonna come on and she's going to, talk or whatever. This is a song that never ends, and we were sure live chat about it. My friends, Monique announced that she will be live today. Invite the Hughley to join and listen. And Dio responded. I'm like, okay, he can't even say something. So Dio did come and comment, and I don't know why. Cause look, I don't know that man. He don't follow me, so I'm assuming it was just him seeing the talking about it or whatever. But he did come in and he did comment on my post and said, hi, I'm good, love, and joy. Meaning I won't be there. I'm not coming around there. Leave me out of it. I'm done. I said what I said yesterday. I don't have to keep going back and forth with this. Get out of my face with this, Apollo, is what he said. And I'm like, okay. So I knew he was not going to come on live. I knew he will also not be on there with her. However, we still have to get into Monique and Daddy's live. Now, look, I told y'all I was on IG and I said how I did not have time to cut it down. And I also wanted to play it in full so that no one can say, you cut out the part when she said that he said 10 plus 10 is 30. It's really so. Nope. We're going to watch the whole thing together. I told y'all earlier, get you some water, some vodka, get you a cigar, okay, or whatever you need, get you some weed, whatever you do. Whatever it is you do, get that to relax, because we're going to watch it. I'm going to have commentary through it, okay? Comments will be had. Make sure to be active in the chat. I can put up your comments. Look, everyone's opinion is their opinion. No one needs to be fighting in the comment section, okay? Gonna say that now. Be respectful, because it's love, light, and positivity is what it is around here. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead, honey, and listen to to Monique and Daddy.
All right, you want to start talking, my baby?
Let's rock and roll.
So listen, this past weekend, it was very eventful, and I had a show at the Fox Theater on Saturday night in Detroit. And y'all have seen a video gone viral with me speaking very openly and candidly about my feelings towards D.L. Hughley, the contract, and the past. And as I was on that stage saying what I was saying, let me be clear. It was intentional. It was intentional. The contract situation and the headliner situation, that was just the icing on the cake for D.L. Hughley and I.
Let's take him back, though.
Take him back.
Let's take him back to the beginning.
Look, I'm gonna let y'all know now. Daddy's son. His name is Daddy's son. Daddy's son gonna get on our nerve the whole time. Okay, we know that. He's gonna aggravate us. Daddy gonna keep this. I don't know why Daddy is being involved. Let Monique speak her piece, and then you come in later and say whatever. But Daddy's son, go sit down some damn well. Okay, Uncle Daddy's son, go get out of our face. Now, the fact that Monique said her own mouth, she plans to go there and get at him on stage, which to me means once you got on stage or whatever and blamed it on the contract situation, I felt like that was a crock of bullshit. I feel like if you had already planned to get at that man on stage, what you did was you made sure before you did that, let me give y'all a reason to not like him about this show today. Because Daddy's son knew I was going to do this. I'm saying he knew that, but no one else did. Okay? But that's on that. I personally would not take my personal issue with a fellow whoever, book a show that's supposed to be comedy or whatever, and then take my personal issue with somebody else on stage. But that's me. That's me. Daddy's son should have told you, hey, mama daughter, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not do it this way. But Daddy's son didn't do that. Okay, but let's keep listening because Daddy's son gonna talk us to death too. Okay, we here together. We are here together. We are all a support group for each other through this.
In it, so everybody can get an understanding of where the love fest, if you will, ended.
Let me turn it up, Daddy. They saying turn it up.
All right.
Okay. So let me just take y'all back to where when you think you're cool with somebody, you find out that you're not.
We know Daddy's son ain't shit because Daddy's son is full in view. We see his hat, his shirt, both his shoulders. Why your wife cut off? Why is mama daughter cut off? Daddy's son ain't shit. Daddy's son out here let Monique be the sideline show on the no. If I'm your manager, let me be your manager. If I'm your manager and your daddy's son, I want you to be full on camera because it's your story to tell. We all tuned in to hear Monique. And I want to make sure y'all hear me. Hear me good. Okay? Hear me good. Monique is a legend. I love Monique. I want Monique to win. I want to see Monique in movies. I want to see her do whatever she needs to do. However, Daddy's son, who's in full view, we see both shoulders, and your wife, who's a star, who's a legend, who deserves her flowers. Okay, because I folks like to think, oh, because I don't agree with how she handles things, I must not like her. And I ain't the thing. Okay, but we know Daddy's son ain't shit because he allowed his wife to be on the side while both his shoulders in frame. We only see one Monique shoulder. I won't point it out. Okay, let's keep going.
Some time ago, when D.L. Hughley, he still has his radio show, and they called me to do an interview. I go on to do the interview, and I'm getting interviewed by the sister Jasmine, and I can't remember the other gentlemen that were in the room. It was one of his producers, and it was another gentleman on the radio. And please forgive me, I can't remember their names. So we're having a great time doing this interview. Well, when we get to the end of the interview, the sister Jasmine says, "Hey, Monique, would you like to play a game?" And I said, "Okay, sis. Let's play the game." Well, when she said the game is called Would You Rather. So I said, okay, I'm down for it.
Now, she told all this on stage. You know what I'm saying? Now, Daddy's son asleep. Is he blink if you're alive, Daddy's son? I don't know. But, these are things she said on stage. I feel like when you say, hey, my loves, hey, my sweet babies, you know what I'm saying? Come on over my live. I felt like, okay, when we get a conversation about what really happened, you reiterating shit we already know. But I'm letting it be.
And then the sister says to me, would you rather your husband sleeps with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?
I want to reiterate, this is something old. She bringing up an interview that happened. It wasn't anything current. I want to make that clear. Monique is telling us about old shit that happened that led up to her planning to eviscerate D.L. Hughley on stage as soon as she got the chance. Okay, so yeah, I want to say that.
Breathe that in for a sec.
Shut up, Daddy Todd.
Now, for those of you who didn't hear it and you might just have joined the room, I want to take you back to that moment. This sister, a black woman, asked me when they were playing this game called Would You Rather, hey, Monique, would you rather your husband sleeps with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one? Now, the question that I would ask anybody that's listening, is that offensive? Is that insulting? Is that going too far?
And how, when you are pro-black or portray yourself as a pro-black man, how is that helpful to the community to ask, would you sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom? Would you prefer your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without?
My response would have been, how would your wife want to handle that? Would your wife want to fuck Lee Daniels without a condom, or would your wife want to fuck Corinne Steffens with one? I would reply as a comedian, I would have came back with a joke. Even if I'm offended, I'm a joke and offend you how you just offended me. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that she was not offended by that would you rather situation. However, I'm not going to hold on to that for the next 15 years. I'm not. I can't do that. As I said before, I want Monique to fully be healed, to no longer have to hold on to any of this hurt, pain, betrayal, or foolery that she has in her. Okay? But being upset because doing an interview, the interviewers ask dumb questions all the time, that they're not trying to be offensive, but when it comes off offensive, handle it in that moment. This black woman asked me if my black husband, if I want him to do this or do that. I would have said, neither, bitch. What you want to do? But I'm going to let that be.
Because any way Monique speaks on it, what happens? You're downgrading the other person.
Yes.
And despite the fact that Monique and Lee were having a rift at the time, she refused to say anything negatively against them in that regard. She wasn't going to play that.
Monique has said negative things about Lee Daniels that was her opinion based on their situation 1,000,000 times. So to make it seem as if Monique would not say anything negative about Lee Daniels is a crock of bullshit. And I love her for real. But again, when you love someone and you're a fan of someone, you cannot accept the bullshit being, you can't just be smacked in the face with bullshit. Nobody like that. No one wants that. And this is smoke and mirrors at its finest. It's compiling all these separate issues and entities and shit and making it seem like all of this is DL's fault. And because all of this is his fault, I had the right to go to the show and handle something on stage that was really a private situation. But let's keep watching. I told you, I'll get y'all some water, some vodka, some juice, a pizza, a salad, or whatever. We here to watch it all. Okay?
But to your point, then what happened?
So DL was not there that day.
So you mean to tell me that Uncle Daddy's son got you upset about a comment or a question made when DL wasn't there? Oh, he wasn't there? So why is your issue with DL? During a radio show, other people interviewed you and asked you a question. If you would, who would, and if y'all don't know, who would you rather would you rather is about giving someone completely insane options. Would you rather suck a dick that got, why did I go there? But again, would you rather suck a dirty dick or a clean one? It's like, it's giving you insane options and picking the worst out of the two worst. Okay? So when someone say, hey, you want to play Would You Rather? Maybe not. Because I don't want to make no fucking decision. But again, he wasn't even there. Y'all heard me say, DL wasn't even there. Okay? But let's keep listening.
I said to his team, let me call DL Hughley. Because what I know is that brother ain't down like that. He going to have a problem with y'all saying that kind of foolishness.
He probably wouldn't. Because we've heard you on stage say you felt sorry for that man's wife for having to suck the dick of a coward. Comedians make sexual jokes that are horrible all the time. And again, I'm not saying she had no reason to be offended, but how you offended at something that you were asked when he wasn't even there. But let's keep it going.
So I get DL Hughley's telephone number.
Okay.
And I called DL Hughley.
And what he said?
And I said, hey, man, I just did an interview with your people.
Okay.
And this is what they trying to run. Like, this is the game they trying to play.
Okay.
And DL's response was, that's just how we do. And that's what it is.
And let me say why. We've seen shows ask people inappropriate questions. And again, she had the right to be offended. but how you blaming him for what they asked you. And I think him saying that's how we be sometimes. Because sometimes on radio, something like that would not have offended me. That would not have offended me. Because I'm also secure in who I'm dating. I'm secure in who I'm with. You should be secure in who you dating and who you with. If daddy's son, you know what I'm saying, was offended, that's on daddy's son. That ain't on me. Comedians say fucked up things as jokes for a living. So you, a comedian in the game for all these years, called another comedian who wasn't there asking, why did your team ask me a would you rather question about my husband that I ain't find funny? Okay, cool. You ain't find it funny? Man, you know, we do sometimes. Okay? But
I said, really, brother?
he said, yeah.
So we attack families now? Like,
That's not attacking.
which
Is that attacking a family? Is daddy's son getting attacked by the family? Is that attacking families? Would you rather your husband? Okay.
you doing? Like I said, that's just how we do. I said, DL, I would suggest you don't air that because I don't think it's going to make you look good to the community.
Monique, as a member of the community, I would not have been offended, but you were. And your feelings are valid. You were offended, and all that matters is that you were offended. You can't include us in your offense, in you being offended. You can't do that, ma'am, because I would not have been. As a comedian, I would either say, "What the fuck you mean?" Or what your wife want to do. Would your husband fuck Lee Daniels? I would have came back at you with things, even if I was offended. But I would not make it a long-standing issue years later.
Now, if y'all notice, that never got aired and I never said anything.
So you went on the show years ago. The deal wasn't at his team asked a question. You were offended by the question. You called him and complained about it and said, hey, don't air that. They didn't air it. But you still mad? Had you not brought it up, we would have never known. And the reason it wouldn't have mattered was because DL did not ask you that. It wasn't aired. So can somebody tell me how you upset about something that happened that never aired? That when you asked, now had you asked him to not air it and it aired and that's why you were pissed, I would 100% say you have every right to be pissed because you asked them to not air it. They did it anyway. But you saying you called him, fussed about it, said, I suggest you don't air that about my daddy's son. Okay? Because it's going to make you look bad. And they didn't air it. So what you mad for? Okay, but again, let's keep listening.
Through the years, I never said anything. I kept it to myself.
No, you didn't. Because we know.
Because what I knew was that I was going to see DL Hughley again.
But why does that matter?
Now, after that situation happened, it let me know for whatever reason, DL Hughley was not cool with me.
But he wasn't there. How can I be upset about someone? How? DL not cool with me because when I voiced my concern, his response was, "That's what we do." But they then did not air it.
For whatever reason. Then through the years, and I want y'all to hear me, please. Through the years, I've listened to this man talk about all that I'm not, what I didn't deserve. I was mentally ill. I was bitter. Me and my husband did poor business.
I think, in my opinion, I don't think she's mentally ill. I think Monique has ways about her that are questionable to some people. However, I do think some folk probably can think she's mentally ill. I also feel like she is bitter in some situations based on what she's been through. Okay? I don't think she doesn't have the right to be bitter. I think she used that bitterness as a batter in her back to be a bully in certain situations that doesn't require her to be a bully. I've never heard, I don't follow DL or Monique enough to know what either of them have said about each other over the past 20 years. Don't have time for it. I don't have the time to invest to figure that shit out. But if she said that man was saying shit about her for years upon years, that's what that lady said. I didn't say that. And I also agree that they do bad business. I think daddy's son do bad business. I think Monique allows him as a daddy's son to handle things, and she allows him to be who he is. That's her husband, that's a daddy's son, and that's what it is. But I do also agree that it seems like there's bad business being done based on the complaints about business being done with you. But that's on daddy's son. That does not mean that Monique has not endured things that were wrong to her. I need y'all to make sure that y'all are hearing me on both issues, okay? Because y'all be thinking I be saying one thing, I be saying two things, okay? Two-parent household, okay? So pay attention. I do think they do bad business. I do, but I don't know what he said about her over the years, about her or about daddy's son. Don't know. Had no idea. However, how you handle someone speaking on you consistently speaks about you too. People speak on me a lot too. I know things people said about me behind my back. I'm like, I don't care. I don't rock with you. Because I've learned to not give energy to people who don't really care for me. If he has been publicly speaking about you over the years in shows, then you know how he feels. Leave that man be. You and Uncle Daddy's son go sit around there at your house with his hat, okay, and your bun, which is real cute, and leave that be. Monique is consistently up here smoking, mirroring us into believing that everything she's been through and every way she's reacted to those things are valid because of someone else's actions. And at some point in life, we have to say, you know what? The reason that some things, not all things, not all, some things are happening is based on how we are reacting in the world. I told y'all, it has been many a times where my mom, Bondi, Jamie, Niecy, him, my sister, Karla, have had to tell me, girl, go sit down some damn where and stop. Because I want to scorch earth. Because I'm pissed. And I want to go in this and let have, as fucking people say. And I can't. When anyone allows you to show yourself to be this crazy, deranged person, or a mean-spirited or vindictive person, that's who you become. And I don't blame Monique. I blame Uncle Daddy's son, okay? Let's keep listening.
I was selfish. I was fanatic. I was psychotic. Now, don't take my word, please. You can Google it for yourself, YouTube it for yourself. D.L. Hughley speaks on Monique. And through the years, my babies, I said nothing.
I did Google it. The one thing I found was when Dia was on Vlad and was asking about the Monique, Precious, Tyler, that situation and everything. Also, I see him speaking about the Netflix situation. But I feel like DL wasn't the only one who's spoken on Monique in all these years. I feel like more people speak about her because of Uncle Daddy's son, who's sitting next to her in his little hat. Okay? I feel like other people have spoken up against, for, or around Monique and Uncle Daddy's son over the years based on what has happened, even because of what they put out. And that's on that, okay? Vlad always the root of problems. And I don't watch Vlad at all. I don't get why anyone goes to Vlad. I've seen other folks go to Vlad. I don't know. I don't go to Vlad at all. At all. But again, other people have also spoken on Monique. But I don't know what DL said particularly. Okay, but let's keep listening.
Because I knew the day would come that I would see D.L. Hughley. Now, for every interview he's done, I didn't get it from nobody else's mouth. I watched it for myself. And I watched this brother sit down with that white cat, Vlad, and tell this white man all that I wasn't, as the white man told him all that me and my husband wasn't.
The white man, I feel like black people has, because I'm a black woman. I'm a grown black woman. And I have comments about Monique. I don't know Vlad. Don't know him at all. But I did see the one video. But do y'all notice how she's saying this black woman, that black man, that white man? It's like, oh, so now it's a race thing too. Okay, we got to keep track. It's a race thing with the Vlad, the white man. Is also the joke about, you know, what Uncle Daddy's son banging, you know, Lee Daniels or Corinne Sessions or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it feels like you're weaponizing race a little bit. Just a little bit. Because for me, when I'm speaking about issues, I don't need to say that black man and that white man, because why does it matter? In life, does race matter? Absolutely. But people sometimes weaponize it to make their point more valid, because folks will then say, you right, as a black woman, I can't be against that black woman. I do feel like, you know, at times we can just say DL and Vlad, because the Vlad was black. Because my thing, because we not gonna also make it seem like I don't think DL only went to white people to complain about Monique. I think he also did it to black people. You know? But let's keep listening.
And I watched D.L. Hughley go in. Now, it ain't that he just goes in on me. D.L. Hughley has a habit of saying freely what he wants to say about anybody.
Ice Cube.
Come on.
Angela Stanton.
Ice Cube, how I get into this? I was at home. Today was a good day. How I get into this? How they bring it up on the... Okay.
Come on. Kanye West.
Kanye, look, leave Kanye ass alone. Let him sit down some damn way. Let's not include Kanye. Let's not do that. This is two black comedians who came to a black city to perform for a mostly black audience. Where is the race in this? Please believe it was not many white folk at the Fox. It was not. I'm not gonna say it was none. It wasn't many. Detroit is a very much so black city. We have other races here, absolutely, but Detroit is very much so a black city. So she's making it a race issue, and to bring in Kanye West, to bring in Ice Cube, to bring in whoever else, it's like, for what? Who, what, when, where, how are they even involved in what happened in Detroit? What's going on? Again, people, it's smoke and mirrors. If I throw 18 different things at you, you won't pay attention. If I talk for a full hour, because most folks can't pay attention for longer than like 5 minutes, they really won't hear all the bullshit I said in between. They'll hear some shit, but not all the shit. That's why when I come to y'all and do these watch-alongs, I talk in the middle to get y'all attention to what's going on. Because it's easy to not really pay. It's easy to just not even think about shit. It's smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Like the young
babies,
the young babies, the rappers, Young Thug and Gunna.
Yeah.
See, and let me tell you,
what does Young Thug and Gunna, who are in jail for RICO charges, have to do with your contract and your beef with DL from back in 1972? Uncle Daddy's son got you hyped up for no reason. Young Gunna and Young Thug, what? Who? How? How did we get here? First of all, I didn't hear her say that earlier. So I'm like, you naming people who have nothing to do with the reason you planned to go off on DL on stage at the Fox in Detroit on Saturday. Young Gunna and Young Thug wasn't even rappers when you plotted and planned to go off on that man on stage. They wasn't even arrested when you planned to do this on stage. So what does them two men have to do with this?
Y'all, when I made that joke about you, DL Hughley, I didn't think you would get tender in your feelings because you made the comment about the baby stage names and you said with names like that, don't you think they would wind up in jail? Well, that's what you said. Well,
So let me get it straight. I want to get it straight. You didn't think DL would be so tender to be upset about you joking on stage about him possibly being gay. You didn't think he would be that tender. However, you got tender 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Let's say 10 years. 10 years ago during an interview where he wasn't even at, and you thought he wouldn't be offended because he joked about if your name is, what he said was, if your name is Gunna and Young Thug, are you surprised that you're kind of putting yourself in situations? I've always said there's power in the tongue. There's power in the tongue. And sometimes when you rap about and speak about things that you know that you don't know that you're manifesting, that's what happens. So people for years have said, be careful what you manifest by what you speak. So I agree in saying, if your name is I'ma die 29, and if you die at 29, I mean, you said it for 10 years. I'm just saying. So how can a comedian say, I can't believe you'll be so sensitive to a joke about you being gay while you're upset as a comedian about a joke of your husband hypothetically fucking a man or a woman? The difference was DL didn't even say the joke about, didn't even supply the question on the would you rather. He wasn't even talking to you about the names of rappers who are now in jail. But honey, let me let her keep talking.
I thought I was coming back being clever, making a joke, because you know back in the day when somebody was on the DL, you know what they were. I don't think you're a homosexual man, DL. I was making a joke, and I can't believe you got tender.
So did you not think them asking you that your husband, who as you say isn't gay, you said daddy son ain't gay. So did you not think they did not think that you would be? Do y'all not get the fucking hypocrisy in what she's saying? You didn't think that DL Hughley would be sensitive about a joke about him being gay, but you are offended about a scenario question on if daddy son if you would want daddy son to have sex with either Lee Daniels or Corinne Steffens. We didn't hear any of this. We didn't hear any of this. Like, DL has not been complaining. Like, we didn't hear none of this stuff until you said, right, you wasn't joking. No one can tell me that Monique was joking. Monique is backpedaling and pussy popping. Okay, I have pussy popping on the handstand, like American Bandstand. Okay, but I'm like, what? What is? It's the smoke. But again, Monique feel like, and people like Monique feel like, because she's a beautiful black woman, and we should support women. We should support how they feel, that she can come to us with bullshit, and because she's a black woman and she's speaking very softly, hey my babies, I love, and you can't fool me with that. But also, let me say, that does not mean that Monique has not went through things in life that she's mad about. I gotta keep saying that because folks say, you being biased, you team DL, I have to keep reiterating how I'm not I'm team JayLeesCorner. I want me to win. That's it. And then daddy's son up here just sitting here with his head on and not saying much right now. Right now. But I'm like, let her keep burning her own house down.
See, you got tender after you've talked for years. So let me be clear to you babies watching. Saturday night, I don't care where I went up on that stage, I was going to hand D.L. Hughley his ass. Because through the years, I've listened to this man speak so freely about my poor decisions, my life choices, and he spoke as if we had a conversation sitting down talking.
Now,
so you mad with someone who you feel like speaks on you as if y'all have had a conversation, but you are also here speaking on someone as you're telling us y'all hadn't had a conversation. So it's like you know how you want to figure out what was the start of the problem. Like, at what point did y'all start having beef? Was it is Daddy's son, gonna fuck Lee or Corinne? Did it start there? Is that where it started? And then where did it continue on? What happened? And you're saying how he speaks on you as if he knows you. A lot of us do that. Radio hosts, TV hosts, we speak about celebrity news from our perspective based on what we know. It does not make anything we say fact. Nothing I'm saying is fact. It's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Monique is playing, semantics. She's playing dictionary. I'm saying she's playing games. And you want someone to win, but then it's like, but can I keep accepting the fact that you play in my face? You want me to fight a lost cause of a problem you're creating? But let's keep going.
Please tell the good people out there what it is that made you go on his show to be blindsided by that question in the first place. What was it about your relationship that made you think he was a comrade in comedy?
Uncle Daddy's son, get out of my face. When people come on to do interviews, when people come on our panel to do interviews, we don't give them our questions up front. But we also know who we're interviewing, and we try our best to gear it to where they're not, they'll play along. Some people are more, free than others. And I feel like Monique is a comedian who has joked about crazy things. So who would think that during an interview, she would be offended or hurt about a hypothetical question? That's weird to me. So for him to use the word, you were, what did he say? Blindsided. Blindsided by this question. I don't think it was blindsided. And I think the question had more to do with her issues with Lee Daniels than it had to her husband. Because Daddy's son, no one really cares about you besides your wife. Monique cares for you. We don't know you, sir. We love Monique. We support Monique. And since Monique got with you, we have been like, girl, what you doing? Blink if you need help. Just blink once or twice. And she not blinking, so I guess she okay. But still, it remains like you out here on bullshit. Both y'all on bullshit. But Daddy's son, you the worst son. Daddy's son, you not even famous. And we're having to deal with you and your shit. Okay?
See, y'all, I'm one of them old school kind of girls.
I am too, Monique.
I'm one of them old school, round the way, down the block kind of girls.
Okay.
And when you get invited to my home, that means something to me.
Oh, okay.
And this was back in the day. This was back in the 90s.
It's 2022. Why are we bringing up? I feel like in beef, you can't bring up nothing that hasn't happened in the past 10 years. You can't bring up shit that happened if it did not happen within the past 10 years. When she said this is in the 90s, I'm like, bitch, I was what, 10?
And I was opening up for D.L. Hughley. And I was excited. He was doing a comedy club in Upper Maryland. It was the night of a Mike Tyson fight. So no one showed up.
A Tyson fight we discussed a Tyson fight in the 90s. Before or after the ear bite? I don't know. We discussed a tight girl.
People showed up to the show. It was no judgment because everybody understood when Mike Tyson fight, the world shuts down. So for whatever reason, DL had the date. They booked me on the show with them. I'm excited. We get there. It's 10 people. I say, hey, DL, So tonight's not a total bust. Why don't you and your audience, because they came to see him, come on back to my home? We can watch the fight. I'll fix some food. Let's have a good time. So I invite this man back to my home.
In the 90s. Right, in 96. Back in 96, right? Not even Tyson versus Ray Jones Jr. Back in the 90s, you know, if I were to say, okay, you know, back then, you know, it was 10 people came to the show. It's also what it is now, but again, it is what it is. But like, what? Why are we hearing? And the reason we're hearing the story is because she said on the stage that this man came and ate at my table. He came and was at my house. And what that means usually is that man wanted to be around me, you know what I'm saying? Or asked to be around me, or I invite him around me. So how dare, you know, he be someone I allowed in my home and then whatever. It seemed like you didn't know him that well. And as you said, you not only invited him, you invited 10 strangers from the club. You can't invite me and the 10 strangers from the club to your house and make me feel like because I was one of the 10, I owe you something. But again, if you just hear her saying, he was at my house. Right. Gas was 97 cents. Gas now is fucking $5. You speaking of a time Tupac was alive. And probably Biggie. Well, it depends, because you know Tupac died in September of 96. So if it was before September 96, you're talking about when Tupac and Biggie was alive. For what? For what? And gas, it was 97 cents. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Again, this is what happens when you let Daddy's son help you do a live with your shoulder halfway out. Because I'm still mad that he fully in frame and she ain't. I'm still mad about that because she's a star. However, let's keep listening, y'all.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but my home is my sacred place.
But you invited 10 strangers from the comedy show. I don't invite family members to my goddamn house who I know. Because I protect my peace. My home is my peace. Look, my house is a vibe. It's relaxing. I don't allow no bullshit going on around here. Okay, if you come here, you chilling. So I fully get a home being a safe haven for yourself. I would never go to a comedy show and just because 10 folks showed up, oh, come on over. DL, the 10 folk come. No. Which to me means your house ain't a safe space because you let 10 random folk in your space. You know? Miss me with the bullshit.
But I invite him and his audience back so people wouldn't walk away disappointed that there was no show. So that's why I felt like from that moment to the moment I did his radio show and they tried to come with foolishness, I always thought DL Hughley and I were cool.
Because one time at a comedy show, only 10 folks showed up because Tyson was fighting and they all came back to my house and now we friends. One time I let him come to my house, him and 10 strangers, and now we friends. So based on that occurrence, I felt like, okay, we cool. Until someone at his radio station asked me, would Daddy's son be out here fucking Lee Daniels or Corinne Steffens? Now all of a sudden I'm mad at DL.
Always, never knew that he had so much to say.
And had brother DL.
Oh God.
Because regardless of the beef.
Shut up.
That's still our brother.
Come on.
Our.
But had brother DL simply said, I apologize that offended you. I apologize for catching you off. I could see how that could catch you off because had my wife came on there and you said something like that to her in reference to me, that would have been insulting because we are supposed to be protective of one another in that regard. But
but your wife's shoulder hanging out. You can't. Your wife's shoulder hanging off screen. You can't protect your wife's shoulder.
Beyond that, because when Monique told me that that's what he said, I personally didn't take offense to him utilizing me. I took exception to him utilizing Brother Lee.
Oh, you were defending Lee Daniels. You didn't care about you possibly doing things with men. You didn't want to offend Lee Daniels. Oh, okay. Now y'all defending Lee. Okay, we gotta play. They defending Lee, y'all. Daddy's son and mama daughter is defending Lee.
And Sister
Corinne.
Because
and Corinne Steffens, who by her own admission was a pass around because she wanted to be. Corinne Steffens has done many interviews speaking on how she has slept with the industry. If y'all do not know who Corinne Steffens is, just Google her. Okay. So you were more upset about not yourself, Uncle Daddy's son, but about Corinne Steffens, who they call Superhead, and Lee Daniels. Okay.
what had they done to him? Again, when you are a senior in the community and you 59 years old and your history is you used to be in a gang, you dropped out of school, you got your GED, that right there is an incredible story of how somebody made mistakes.
Now he dropped out of school and had to get a GED. Not coming for GED people. I have a diploma. You know what I'm saying? But you do know that was trying to be a read. That you was in the game, got out the game, meaning he's probably in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Dropped out of school, had to get a GED. I'm like, well, he got it. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China on a Tuesday?
Turned it around, came from nothing, and made something of himself.
Why Daddy's son, shut up?
Can't help but give him props, be proud of him. But when you listen to him go after Ice Cube, because that man
Ice Cube, how he get back in this?
made a decision as a man to say, I'm not going to get that vaccination, and it doesn't matter how much money it is. That's what you call integrity.
Y'all up here bringing up when Ice Cube said he didn't care about whatever amount of money he was going to do, whatever. You know how many people had opinions on people getting the vaccination? DL has a radio show who, and comedians, they talk about this shit. I'm so girl.
When you have a brother named Kanye that has had the challenges that he's had, and you have him calling that man out as opposed to calling him up and saying, let me put my arm around you. And he and Steve talking about, we come from a place called Whoop Ass.
The Whoop Ass Tribe.
The Whoop Ass Tribe.
I mean, I was born in a Whoop Ass Tribe. Card carrying member of a Whoop Ass Tribe. You are commenting about people who are paid to comment on shit. Comedians literally would take situations in life and do stand up about the shit. So y'all are really trying to come for him because he was commenting on other shit other people also commented on. Yes, they dog whistling. Hey, Bondi. They're fucking dog whistling. And people not getting it. It's fucking smoke and mirrors. Let me bring up everything that someone can get mad about to distract from the fact that I went on stage in Detroit at the Fox and went off on DL and said it was this reason, but really I had planned to do it all along. Monique, out her own mouth, said I had always planned to hand him his ass on stage as soon as I saw him. She planned to do this, but I told y'all, I said that. I said she probably planned this shit for attention. And that's what happened. That's what happened.
Listen, that may have been cool when you were younger, but what you trying to give to the young folks, because if they get the whooping on people, they going to jail. I'm 54. DL 59. Steve 62. Monique 50-something years old. What we like look
you
like?
said 50-something. I'm 54.
My bad.
Your husband know everybody's age with your own? Your husband knew everyone's age verbatim except his own wife? Really? I forget my own age sometimes. But he just knew everybody's age except the woman he fucking. If you don't get no one's age right in a rant trying to be funny, get the one you sit next to's birthday right. I'm still pissed at him though, because her shoulders ain't fully in frame.
54, I know. But what good would it do our old asses out here fighting? So the point of all of that is, there's an old saying, you live by the sword and you die by the sword.
And your wife is on the ground, round there, by a sword. We don't want her to die now. We don't want that to happen. But she down there, the hole she digging for the folks, I mean, she getting deeper and deeper.
If you've been comfortable talking about Rizza Islam in reference to his opinion about a vaccine, if you're talking about our sister
Angela
Stanton and her views, but then she approaches you in the airport to see your personal opinion about it, but you call security. If you don't believe me, reach out and ask.
Okay. We sorry. Okay.
We saying to you then, we shouldn't talk about people and then not have the same energy when we see them, when we talked about them. But that's what happens when you start with people that didn't start anything with you.
Go ahead.
No, baby, go ahead.
Oh, and I want to address something too, because I want y'all to watch how people like D.L. Hughley will throw smoke and mirrors to try to distract from what.
People like DL with those smoke and mirrors. I think Monique and DL are quite alike in different ways and the same. Because we just set up it, and this is the thing. We not even halfway done with this shit. We here for life. This is gonna be like a 3-hour video. But you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a long video. I told you that in the beginning. You are fully doing smoke and mirrors. And it's gonna continue throughout this whole life.
What it really is. If you watch the video of what I said, if you watch that video,
I watched it.
I didn't say anything insulting.
You didn't say nothing. You were insulted about a question on if your husband will fuck Lee Daniels or Corinne, and that offended you. But you think you saying that he might be gay, he bending over for the man or whatever, and you feel bad for his wife having to suck the dick of a coward. That wasn't anything insulting? Really? Are you sure? This is why I say it's full of bullshit. We can love and support Monique, but call her out on her bullshit. And this is not even a thing about DL being right and her being wrong. I can only speak on what Monique and Daddy Son is saying. Okay? This has nothing to do with DL. I am not Team DL. I am Team JayLeesCorner. However, this is bullshit. This is bullshit.
In reference to that man's family, nor his beautiful wife. What I said was, is I feel sorry for your family.
That offended him.
I feel sorry for your wife.
That offended him. The same when you were offended that Daddy Son had to choose between fucking Lee and old girl.
Now the other part that I said, y'all know what it was, and I'm gonna leave it on the stage.
You don't want to repeat it because you know it was mean-spirited. Because if you felt it wasn't insulting, you and Daddy Son would just say what it was. You won't repeat it because you knew damn well it was insulting. We got time today.
But to be specific, without being specific, you essentially said, I feel sorry for your wife having to perform a sexual act on a coward.
So even though mama daughter said, I won't say it, Daddy's son gonna say, but I'll say it. Let me say it. Let me say what you just said you did not want to say. Uncle Daddy's son ain't shit. Okay? Uncle Daddy's, he ain't. I told y'all he is a battery in her back that is erosion. She is rotting from the inside based on Daddy's son helping her do fucked up shit. Okay? Thank you, Kia Ball, Spark for some chat. Are they the Wonder Twins? Are they the Wonder Twins now? They decided who can speak on someone. Leah's off limits when you cuss him out in Superhead. Okay, Uncle Daddy's son. It's on bullshit. It's on complete bullshit. And this is my point. You have to pay attention. Okay? This is going to be a long and live, but going to be fun. Okay? So get some water.
That's exactly.
How do you perform a sexual act on a coward?
Monique performed one on you. Because some folk for you a coward. Some folk for you a bitch. Some folk wonder how can Monique perform an act on you as her husband. The same way she felt like, how can, his wife do that with him. So, I mean, a spade is a spade. To ask a man or to say about a man's wife, how can she perform that on a coward? Some folk think you a coward on Daddy's son. So how does Monique perform it on you? I'm assuming that may be the same way the DL wife does it then. I mean, suck a dick ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I'm saying. It's not hard. I mean, it's not. It's not a hard thing. So, I mean, what do you want to do? So, again, y'all are asking questions that folks are also asking y'all. Okay? But let's keep listening.
There is nothing that was said about your wife.
Nothing.
Your family.
Nothing.
It was
Thank you, Kimberly, for the Cash App.
Directed specifically to you.
So let me be clear again. For all the shade droppers, tea spillers, candy bar biters, Saturday night, D.L. Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him because through the years, I've heard this man have a lot to say about me. And what the type of person I am, if y'all don't know by now, I wasn't going on nobody's radio show talking about how I felt towards D.L. Hughley. I wasn't going on nowhere. I was going to make sure the night that I spoke about D.L. Hughley, I wanted D.L. Hughley to be there.
This is what's crazy. You had a personal issue with that man and did not want to have a conversation with that man. You wanted to have it on the stage of a paid concert, which is fine. Whatever. However, the fallout from that is what you're now dealing with. So now you're in the court of public opinion. And I feel like if I have an issue with somebody, I'm either going to not deal with them directly and leave it be. It ain't nobody else's business. But she's admitting that she planned it. She knew what she wanted to do. And then she didn't have to go talk to him on someone's show. She didn't have to do that. However, to say I was not going to go on someone's radio show to talk to him, but you went on stage and did not talk to him. You talked to the audience and gave them a one-sided rant about how you felt about someone and then made the issue. He came here and took my head out of the spot and he ain't shit, blah, 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 blah. Well, now the fallout from that is being had and folks are picking sides. And that's just what it is.
Now, I want to address something else. And everything I'm saying, please find it out for yourself.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I want it from you. Okay? I don't want to Google nothing. I want you to tell me what you thought. Because it's what you thought.
I want to address something. When D.L. Hughley says, and then she brought in Steve Harvey.
Because you did on your set at the Fox here in Detroit. You did say Steve Harvey. You called Steve Harvey a C-O-O-N. You called Oprah a C-O-O-N. I believe also Tyler Perry. But you brought up Steve's name on stage. So that way, when he responded on his radio show, that's why DL spoke on Steve. Because you did.
See, let me tell y'all something. This ain't new.
It ain't.
I watched D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey sit on his show and lie.
Oh, okay.
DL show.
On DL show
They lie.
and lie.
Okay.
I watched Steve Harvey say to DL, we had to edit the show because Monique was saying some crazy stuff and we had to protect her. And then DL says, yeah, man, you was just trying to protect her. And then Steve says, yeah, man, well, let me ask this question. When did they get into the black woman protection business?
I think a lot of people are hopefully seeing how she's bringing forth two issues. To say, when did Steve Harvey or D.L. Hughley get into the black woman protection business? I don't expect anyone to protect me except those in my actual circle. I don't expect Monique to protect me as a black woman. I don't. I mean, if she wants to, she can send me some money to pay my rent. I'm sorry, pay. I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of people who we cannot expect to protect us. I cannot protect every black woman. I can't. I also, yes, it's activating black women and saying, you know what, DL? And then this is my thing. I don't follow DL or Steve enough to know anything they've done in the years they've been around here. My life does not revolve around paying attention to what every black man does for every black woman or vice versa. I don't know what Monique has personally done to help black women because I don't follow her thick enough to know what she's done here, there, or everywhere. What I do know is that people who want to use a cause to piss someone off will say shit like, what have they ever done for the black race? Damn, let me Google what they've done. They ain't did nothing. And now you mad. So now you've made them mad at him for a whole other reason besides what we came here to talk about. That's what it means by trying to use trigger words, dog whistling, and trying to activate black women and demolishing two black men who happen to also have two black wives. So at the least, they married two black women. And it's also not my job to be like, well, how do they treat their wives? That ain't my business. If their wives are happy and they over there chilling, that's on them. I don't want anyone thinking they have the, and that's what I always say. Sometimes you have to keep your business to yourself because folks feel the need to comment on what you got going on and what's, no, ma'am, no sir. She's activating us to feel like we could not dare support DL or Steve based on her saying, when have they ever tried to protect black women? Ever. When have they ever? I don't know, but I also can't physically recall them, doing something wrong in a large scale to offend me as a black woman. How each of them handle their wives ain't on me. It's on their wives to handle and deal with. So I can't do that. However, Daddy's son around here allowing Monique to think she's right. A part of being a black king and protecting your queen is never making your queen look stupid. A part of being a black woman and protecting your black king is making sure that he knows that you have him covered from his back. You know what I'm saying? You cover folk like that. You check in. You make sure that, okay, I'm just checking. You okay? You do that. They both up here on bullshit, using our blackness as a weapon. And please believe, as much as white folk use us, so do some black folk. Use us against each other. Thank you, Kevin. Monique and Daddy's son is full of malarkey, full of it. He didn't believe his own. Who didn't? Honey, I look, y'all know I don't. Y'all know, look, I don't get into. We don't do that around here. I can't speak on anything I don't know about. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave that be. Never spoke on black issues. I don't speak on black issues either. But does that mean I'm against the black race? For some folk, that's not our lane. Some folk, you have to leave some folk in their lane. But let's keep listening.
So that's why I said Steve Harvey that night. So that night, DL, what you got back was the medicine that you've dished out to our community for so long through the years, and I want to address what you're trying to make the show out to be. Detroit, I want to say thank you for that amazing night.
Okay.
Because it was amazing.
Okay.
And when DL says the people left disheartened and disappointed and they were ashamed and embarrassed, well, let's address that because I think it's only fair. From my understanding, Josh Adams kicked butt.
He was funny. Absolutely funny. Okay.
From my understanding, Sister Ava Rodriguez kicked butt.
Heard she was funny too. Okay.
Now I can speak for me because I was there. When I walked out on that stage in Detroit, those beautiful people, they gave me a standing ovation.
Because we love Monique. We're not going to act like that people don't love her. So why would they not come out and clap for you? Why would they not?
What happened when you walked off?
Those beautiful people gave me a standing ovation.
Because you probably did well in your rant against DL, but also your other stuff. And we ratchet here, so sometimes we like the mess. So, you know what I'm saying? We like the drama.
Now, what has happened in that moment, and this is for the comics who have so much to say. Come on, sweet babies, because this is Comedy 101. When you are the headliner, you have to meet the challenge. Regardless as to who goes in front of you and what is said, you have to meet the challenge. And what happened was when D.L. Hughley walked out on that stage, he could not meet the challenge.
But you want to know why? This is the gotcha. It's easy for someone to say when Josh was on stage, he did great. Josh is funny here in Detroit in general. I've seen his IG page, he's funny. Ada, funny. Monique, we know she's funny. People do find DL funny, which is why they bought tickets to the show. If the person before you comes on and makes the crowd feel like you have wronged them and you ain't shit, for you not to acknowledge that can make them feel some kind of way, to me, is delusional. Before he came out, you went off on him, called him out, made them think that night here in Detroit, he did some fucked up shit. Which makes the people in the audience, damn, really? Oh, which is why as she was talking, everyone's phones was out, recording what she said. Yes, she set the tone for him on stage. Don't think she didn't. I said before, if you ever watched the 5 Heartbeats, and before the 5 Heartbeats went out, when Bird and the Midnight Falcons went on or whatever, and the host said, "Hey, the 5 Heartbeats are there better than A, B, C, D, E, F, and G," and the crowd like, "Boo, boo," because you turn the crowd against the person coming on for the betterment of someone else. That's what she did. It does not mean that they did not enjoy her show. Again, Detroit folk, we like mess. Shit happen here all the time. We nosy, you know what I'm saying? So you went on stage and gave them all this fresh tea, all this fresh gossip, all this heat, and then left the stage for him to have to come on and do his set. Folks could have possibly not laughed because they mad at what they think he did. She had not done comedy here in 20 years. Gas lit the audience. Her goal was to make me feel a way about DL. Mission. She told y'all, I went there knowing I was going to obliterate him. No, they did not boo DL. He did not get booed. He did not. But I do feel like they did not cheer for him as loud because of what this went off stage. Period. And yeah, and that's when I'm like, people are hearing bits and pieces of shit and not hearing the whole thing. She told y'all she went there with a plan to go up on that man on stage. Before him, she obliterated him. Told and then made it about. Had Monique brought up anything from 15, all this other shit, all the stuff she's saying here, had she brought up a fucking old interview, had she went into detail about anything else except, hey, but tonight here in Detroit, he did this to me. Now we of Detroit feel some kind of way. Oh, you playing around. You know what I'm saying? You made it personal to the city you was in. I ain't been here in 20 years and I'm here today and y'all wouldn't believe how hard it was for me to get here, and I almost didn't come on stage because of DL. I almost did not come on stage because of DL. Yes, tell the crazy crowd in Detroit you did not want to come on stage because of what he did. And if you think we from Detroit is not going to feel in some kind of way, boo! Boo! You know what I'm saying? He didn't get booed. He did not get booed. But I'm saying she did it on purpose. Because of how she felt. Okay? But we're not going to act like that ain't what she said. Okay?
See, I've had to go up on stage after people have been booed. I got to go up on stage because I'm the headliner. I've had to go up on stage after people have talked ill about me in front of me. I still got to go up on that stage. And my job as the headliner is to make sure when that audience leaves, they leave feeling fulfilled.
And this is the thing. As a headliner, DL still went on stage. DL went on stage after what she said about him. She went on there after. Because it's a headliner. As she said herself, as a headliner, I have to go on stage regardless of what else happened. He had to as well. That's why he's in his video how a coward would have left and not went on stage. That's what a coward do. But the gag is, DL went right back to work to speak on the show and tour, and while she's in the living room with Daddy's son. And I want to make sure I'm going to repeat again. I am not against Monique. I'm just calling it like it is. Period. When she said I planned to do this, that's when I said, okay, you on bullshit. Had this just been about her feelings like that night, okay, whatever. Still fucked up like Canada, but whatever. But you showing us you had planned this shit the whole damn time.
So because you could not step up to the challenge, D.L. Hughley, you have now made it appear as if the night was bad. And if y'all were paying attention, my babies.
But finish your thought. Oh. He made it appear as if the night was bad.
He made it appear as if the night was bad. Just your night was bad, D.L.
Because before he went on stage, you changed the crowd opinion of him. If no one went there to see DL, after Monique left, they would have left. If Monique was supposed to be the closer of the show and folk thought DL would come on before her, folk would have got to the show late. They would have came to come see him. They came to see them both. Some folk don't like DL, that's cool. But if you think that any venue was booking him knowing no one likes him, you're a fucking fool. Comedians who don't pull numbers don't get booked. Period.
Just your moments were bad, DL. And I want to address something else, because if you want to try to make me look unprofessional, let me tell you how much I get down for the people.
He didn't make you look unprofessional. You made yourself look unprofessional. You did that. Before he came on stage, before he posted on Twitter, before DL did anything to even respond to you, you made yourself look unprofessional because of how you handled it. You can't blame it on him. Because even in his responses on IG, he never really went at her like that. He didn't. He didn't go at her until he went on his show and gave that 7-minute read. That's when he went at her. You are allowing Daddy's son to make you think that you're right and you're not. You're not.
I could have not gone out on that stage.
You shouldn't have if you didn't want to. But the issue was never, because this how she full of shit. The issue really was not about the show. She went there fully to do what she wanted to do about going off on DL. The show mix up shit was an afterthought. She was going out, period, because of what she wanted to do.
I could have not gone out on that stage.
Well, why did you?
Because I love the people. I don't take those people for granted. I don't take the people for granted that may have paid their last dollar to buy a ticket to a show that I am a part of. I don't take those people for granted that said, you know what, tonight I need to come out and release this. I don't take those people for granted. So I could have not gone out on that stage. But because of the people.
Now she wants the people to feel like, I did it for you. I came out for you. I love you. Gaslighting, manipulation, shady shit, bullshit. And I blame Daddy's son, okay? That's what I blame. I blame Daddy's son fully. Hard stop. I blame Daddy's son.
I walked out on that stage and I said that to the people. So when y'all say, well, why didn't she go out? Because that's just not the type of woman I am.
And I want to share something with y'all that y'all don't know about this human being sitting to the right.
Oh, God.
When she says it, she really means it.
Okay.
She had the privilege
of
being told by a gentleman y'all may have heard of. Who said, never stop being who you are.
Okay.
Always be you.
Who said that?
Because you works.
That's right. Well, someone said you works, but Monique, some things you do don't work. And some folk will tell you, keep doing you because you work, because they full of shit too.
His name was Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor is an iconic, legendary comedian who was also fucking flawed in life decisions. So saying that Richard Pryor said, keep doing you because you are who you are. I'm like, why? Stop bringing up people who, look, leave him be. Richard dead and gone, rested in peace. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to bring up Richard Pryor's name because he's a legend in the game. Let's say because Richard Pryor said, stay in your bullshit. And let's be clear, who Monique was when Richard Pryor, because look, Richard Pryor, I don't know if him's still watching. I was gonna say if you know when Richard Pryor, if you still watching, text me when Richard Pryor died. I'm gonna just Google it. See, may not even be on here. I don't even want my mom on here either. Let's see when Richard Pryor passed away. When did Richard, what's his name right? Pryor died. He died in 2005, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, Monique was probably still, that girl. When Richard Pryor told her that, I'm pretty sure she wasn't who she is now. Because we rocked with Monique back in the day. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't say someone told her, well, they didn't say what he said to her today. Well, he say who you are right now and to keep doing that. No. So miss me with the bullshit.
And there's a gentleman by the name of Rudy Ely. That's the nephew of the legendary Paul Mooney.
Stop bringing up dead comedians.
He was there and could corroborate Paul Mooney saying, they call you Mrs. Pryor. Why they call you that? Because you remind them of the female Richard Pryor.
But that was her then. That's not her now. Okay?
Now, when you hear other comedians talking trash about her, you got that from comedy royalty. The king, before there was a king of comedy. So that allows you to just keep moving forward.
Shut up.
And not take anything personally.
Shut up.
I say that to say,
Shut up.
When you walk on that stage and you are a comedian, it is your job to be truthful to the audience. She doesn't work at the Quickie Mart. She's not a brain surgeon. her behavior on stage is not unprofessional because it's indicative of the latitude that a comedian is given. They're given a...
It's indicative of the daddy son she married to. It's indicative to you, motherfucker. That's what it is, okay? You have helped her become a different person for different reasons, and this is stupid. Okay, but this is also why I did not want to cut this live down, because I need y'all to sit through the same shit I had to sit through to fully get the picture, so that once we put this shit to rest, we can all say we fully heard her ass out and it was a bunch of bullshit.
Comedic license to speak in reference to their life, and guess what she did? She spoke about her life because she was doing the crowd a disservice to hold all that back and say nothing. And part of the reason why we're having the conversation out loud, because there are many of us who've been enslaved in our thinking to believe that everything that happens that's volatile, that could be construed as embarrassing, should be kept quietly. And what happens is, in self-defense, they teach women especially, if you are ever abducted in a parking lot,
what?
You must scream and yell, because that is your best opportunity for survival. Because if the accoster, if the rapist, if the abductor gets you in the privacy of their home, you're at their mercy.
Come on. What does this have to do with what? I just need y'all to witness the foolish. Because it's easy to say Monique is, innocent when we see little clips here and there, a little bit. But I wanted y'all to fully sit through the shit. Okay? To take accountability for the shit. And to bring in how, none of that has nothing to do. Daddy son on some bullshit. Right. How did he get there? I was I don't know. How did we get here? How did you get here? Bitch, I caught the bus. That's how you got there, on the bus. And this live was on her. They put this shit out. They did.
So when you stay silent, you are at the mercy of the victimizer. But when the victimizer is trying to victimize you, it is your best bet to drag them out into the public end so they can take accountability for what it is that they've done. And that's what she did that night.
And that's what I'm doing today. I'm pulling Monique and Daddy's son out of the shadows so we can all witness the bullshit of it all. Okay, thank you, Kid Bell. So I take it back with this routine day, Cephas and Reese from In Living Color. So basically the contract thing was all like, she ain't even got to that part yet. That part comes a little bit later. Okay, either way it go, it's on some bull. Right, we land on him a rock, let it on us. I'm like, the fuck, what? I feel hoodwinked, bamboozled. Okay, you confused me. I feel used and abused. Okay, because what? How and why? You see, Daddy trying to ruin her. Throw her down. Okay, what's happening? How did we get here? I don't know. But again, I want y'all. I had to sit through it. So do y'all.
And please, my babies, do your own homework.
I do all the time.
Pull it up for yourself.
Okay.
And then ask yourself, how many times am I going to get poked?
I mean, I like getting poked. It's fun. But that's in here or there.
How many times is people going to just start messing with people that's not messing with them? So again, what happened Saturday night? I'm going to say it again. D.L. Hughley was going to get his ass handed to him.
Because that was always the plan. That was always the plan. So the smoke and mirrors was the reasoning for it. Oh, the concerts. Oh, the contract. No, he was always going to get his ass handed to him, period.
Because once y'all go back all through the interviews, I'm going to be shocked. I will be shocked if y'all say, Mo, I'm surprised you didn't get this brother, a lot sooner because it went on for years.
And when Brother DL says Monique does what a lot of women do, and that's weaponized feminism. No, what a lot of women do is they get mistreated because they're feminine, because they happen to be women. So
now let's activate the women who have to support other women. Let's activate women who have been mistreated for being a woman. Even though that really has nothing to do with this particular situation, let's activate that shit.
a woman takes the course of facing her opposition head on, she's a bitch. She don't know what she's doing. She being disrespectful.
I think most folk is saying that daddy son is a bitch. I think most folk is saying that daddy son don't know what he doing. I think most folk feel like Monique's biggest mistake is that daddy son be her manager. So most folk not even coming at Monique, they're coming at daddy son. Okay, the husband sitting there, and y'all know I'm still mad. Her shoulder ain't in the shot. Why do we fully see daddy son? Because he's on bullshit.
What's the name of the book Brother Steve Harvey wrote? What was it called?
Act like a lady, but think like a man.
Now, what the fuck? Why is that talk? Why? Where that come from? Can somebody tell me what happened?
What? Do y'all see what we buy into? I'm not equipped to think like a man.
I didn't buy that book. I saw the movie. It was funny. However, I didn't buy that book. You know what I'm saying? I just, it's just tired, through and delayed. I'm probably right. Yeah, it's a bullshit. It said, look up Triumph School of Love. I saw it. I'm old enough to know. I remember the episodes. Okay, they son is the headliner. It's some Colt Bush. You know what I'm saying? Look, completely on bullshit. Completely on girl. Not Steve's book. When that book come out?
I'm not equipped to think like a man.
And why does a woman have to think like a man in order to be accepted? And then when a woman thinks like a man and dealt with DL head on, now it's a problem again.
But I gotta go back to this, Daddy.
Go back to it.
I can't believe DL Hughley. I can't believe Daryl Lynn, you a tender. Now that has nothing to do with your sexuality. It has everything to do with your heart. I can't believe you that tender. I can't believe, and she was, what is the word he uses? Because he's using one of those words.
It was vile.
Oh, yes. I can't, you.
But all of this started because someone else asked you at an interview that DL was not at, but was at his radio station, if your husband, Uncle Daddy's son, would, if you prefer for him to bang Lee Daniels or bang Corinne Stephens. And that is what offended. All this started from that. All of it. So it's the weirdest shit to say, I can't believe you so tender. And not that I'm not saying you gay, no. I'm not doing that, no. But why you so tender, DL? But it started from a tender place within your rib. Because you was upset about Daddy's son. And then Daddy's son said he didn't care about himself. He was worried about Lee Daniels and Corinne Stephens. You can't be the one who was first tender about a joke or about a question, and then say that someone else doesn't have the right to also be tender too. Y'all both, we are tender. Everyone has a tender spot.
Father, you are in your feelings. I cannot believe that, DL.
I can't believe it, Monique.
And that for the comedians, pay attention, baby.
Monique, Monique, somebody get Monique a mirror? Someone get her a mirror.
Pay attention. See, when you run your mouth about other people and you don't know who you running up into, and then you get to running into a brick wall, and then you want to play victim and fall out and act like you've been damaged. Come on. Like I said, I feel sorry for your family, brother.
DL never played victim. DL responded back to what happened. I don't think he played victim. I think he said how he felt, But I don't think he played victim. I think Monique is playing victim. I fully believe Monique is fully playing victim. I think Monique is fully on bullshit. I think Monique is doing the same thing that she's complaining that DL did. And I think she's on bullshit.
If I may,
Yes, you
change
may,
in
Dad.
another direction.
Change it.
What we believe in is trying to put forth the facts because we love our people.
Yes.
And what a lot of individuals don't know is the people that he spoke about Monique having a problem with, he said they all are the same. And they're right. They all were people who stepped to her and she stepped back. Now that's the problem. If you notice throughout the years, what are the details associated with what makes Monique difficult? See, when they speak in generalities, it allows you to come up with your conclusion about how she was difficult, but they never go into the specifics. See, the specifics would be...
He just saying words now, y'all. He just putting words together to make sentences that don't make no sense.
Monique has a problem with Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Oprah Winfrey for multiple reasons. Besides the fact that as a black woman who privately said, and here's that word again, privately communicated to Monique and I that her position for not campaigning for an award was right and it was fair because everything she did was up on the screen.
This is the issue I think people forget about the Monique campaign, the Monique Precious shit, the promotion for it. I don't think anyone had an issue with Monique saying that she was not going to do things that she wasn't paid for. I think the after effect of that is what everyone had an issue with. It was how she handled the fallout from it. Okay. And Oprah has never, ever really spoke about it. And even if Oprah told her, hey, I get it that you didn't want to promote because you weren't being paid. I get you standing up for yourself and saying, I'm not going to do that. What I don't think Oprah ever said was, that the aftermath of all of that, what she then went on and said about everybody else was cool. So let's not act like it's the same thing. Okay, I want to be sure y'all know that.
In addition to the fact that she had no contractual obligation to do anything for Lionsgate. When you have Tyler Perry, who privately admits the same thing, but also says, anything they ask me to do is what I'll do. When you have a billionaire who says anything they ask me to do, I'll do, what begins to happen is they'll use his actions of compliance to put down everybody else. So Monique was supposed to do something for people that she owed nothing. Now, if you think that she was wrong for that, this is what I would suggest you do.
Shut up. Precious came out in 2009. It is 2022. Precious came out in 2009. It is 2022. Let that sink in. That all her issues that she's bringing up is some old shit. Right, not making no sense. Thank you, man, for super chat. Not making any sense at the all. They're bringing up, and I told her he just saying words to make it doesn't make no sense. Okay, we don't care. But again, no one ever felt like Monique should have done work for press for a movie that she wasn't paid to do. However, the fallout from that was on bullshit. Period.
When you go to work tomorrow, or if you're at work right now, go to your boss and say, listen, moving forward, I've been tripping. I've been looking for money at the end of the week for my job. Moving forward, I'm going to work for you and let you make money off of me and I get nothing in return. If you think that what she did was inappropriate, the black woman is violated so much that y'all heard the recording of Tyler Perry saying he was wrong and he was going to make it right, and he is yet to make it right, but nobody is saying anything to him because he's Tyler Perry.
It may be because they was waiting for Monique to do some more bullshit and here she go. I think it's very, we know for a fact that women in the film industry do not get the same respect. They do have a harder time. No one is negating that fact. But however, that's not just Monique. That's women in the industry. Period. That's not just Monique. So it's weird to me that he's making it seem like, oh, it's a Monique. No, it's not a Monique issue. It's an issue across the board. And we also know in that business of movie, of music or whatever, there are times when people get paid on the back end. You know what I'm saying? To where, okay, I'm going to do this up front. We also know how people do movies and TV shows and don't get paid that much. Because it's a building block. The same way for YouTubers, we have to make content before our channels is even monetized. So we're working to build up to make money on the back end. No one is saying that Monique wasn't done wrong or whatever. No one's saying that. However, what's true is she's still on some bullshit trying to make it seem as if there was more of an issue than what we thought in the beginning. Yeah, they done brought up Oprah, Tyler, Richard Pryor, DL, Steve Harvey, Kanye West. Okay, all kind of folk. All kind of folk. Okay, again, in some businesses, you get paid on the back end. If you are a regular worker for a business where you have either an hourly or salary, you get paid for what you work. Yes, but we know in movie, in TV, in radio, in music, there are times when you go and you work and you do work as promotion to get a better paycheck later. But y'all don't be listening. Y'all think they were saying, hey, she should be okay not getting paid. No, but sometimes you have to get paid on the back end. Me starting YouTube, and for months, I wasn't getting paid on YouTube. But I had to put in the work to build up my following, to build up people knowing me, for people to want to see me, for me to get views, for me to get monetized, for YouTube and ads to then pay me more because now I'm visible. I'm just saying. It does not mean she did not have the right to say, I don't want to do that. So stop mixing up bullshit.
There's a quote that goes, some people are fearful of the truth. They are fearful of hearing the truth because they are afraid it will destroy their illusion. We don't want nobody to take away our God. And we got to be connected more, not to who the celebrity is, not more to who's black, not more to who's white, not more to who's a Democrat, not more to who's a Republican. We've got to be connected to what's right. And sometimes when you're connected to what's right, you got to face the ridicule associated. But we rather face the ridicule associated with doing what's right than face the personal ridicule that we would impose upon ourselves for standing there and letting wrong happen and say nothing.
Now I want to address the contract and a deal memo.
May I help you with that? I'm
yes,
sorry, my
Daddy.
love.
Yes.
Please forgive me.
Hold on, take it.
Not her saying, let me get into the reason y'all here. And then he say, can I say something? Nigga, you've been talking for 5 minutes. We didn't come here for you. We came here for Monique. And again, daddy's son around here want to be the talent and not the manager.
Time.
So, as not to freestyle, I pulled up the difference between the two. This will give you it in a nutshell. A memorandum of understanding, or the deal memo that D.L. Hughley presented to the people. It says, a memorandum of understanding is a document used to articulate an agreement between two or more parties The document is likely to detail the scope of the agreement, the length of the agreement, and the state how the agreement can be terminated. A memorandum of understanding is often used before parties are ready to make a formal, let me repeat that, a memorandum of understanding is used before parties are often used before parties are ready to make a formal agreement. Parties can use a memorandum of understanding to outline expectations and responsibilities before a full agreement has been reached. Unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. As a result, parties can typically avoid the agreement with no legal consequences. Let me repeat that, and I'm going to break it down in layman's terms. When they say unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding, which is what DL provided the community with,
Yes.
is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. By legally binding, that means that if you were to try to sue for what was not on a memorandum of understanding, there are no signatures. It is not legally binding. And the agreement, because he made the statement, oh, that came from his company. Well, the MOU came from UTA, which, as it says here, unlike contracts, however, a memorandum of understanding is not intended to be a legally binding agreement. As a result, parties can typically avoid the agreement with no legal consequences. However, that brings you to what Monique presented you with, which was a legal binding agreement. See, one of the key differences between a memorandum of understanding and a legal contract is
It don't matter if your legal contract wasn't upheld. You can pull out a thesaurus, okay, the dictionary, the encyclopedia, Google, Siri, and whoever else. However, your agreement, your contract wasn't enforced. Your wife, daddy son, did not go up after DL. So why you acting like any of that matters? For what? 4K. Even and not only that, we have to remember what both Monique and DL showed us on their pages on IG was drafted up back in March. Hers was March 28th. His was March 29th. Neither one of them presented anything like currently. And what DL also said on his page was what a difference a day makes. Because if your contract with signatures or initials was on the 28th and I sent them something on the 29th, it was two different things. And I'm like, at the end of the day, it don't matter if he had a contract, a memo, a sticky note, or whatever. Okay, whatever it was, they honored it. For whatever reason, his sticky note took precedence over your shit. So why have we been on here talking about DL this whole time and not the fucking promoters? Period. I showed y'all yesterday how the promotion recently, within at least the last month, showed DL as the headliner. I seen someone send me DM saying that a month before that, so like back in March time, maybe being of April, and had Monique. It did not even list DL, meaning DL was added after Monique. And once DL was added on, they then made all the promotion about DL. Daddy son, you fucked up. It was on you. I was watching a fucking Aniva video, and he even brought up how when you are being booked for something, that your part of it should be that you have to approve promotional shit. The fact that Monique and Daddy son did not have any control over the promotion to where neither of them saw that he was being promoted as the headliner, that's on Daddy son. Period. It's your issue, bruh. Y'all can say, well, I mean, he didn't have a contract. It wasn't signed. They enforced it. Why did you not go after the promoters? Because your issue initially was never about it was never about the show that night. Monique knew, Daddy Son knew, y'all both knew the point of that show was for her to read DL, period. Thank you, 2Ls. A deal memo was less formal employment contract, usually implemented by independent producers. They generally contain significantly less wording than traditional contracts, but are still binding, which is probably why that's what was upheld, for whatever the reasons may be. Okay? But let's keep listening.
Enforceability. That means the key difference between a contract and a memorandum of understanding is enforceability. Contracts are created when two or more parties intend to create a legally enforceable agreement. Parties enter into contracts after an offer has been accepted with considerations. Parties to contracts are legally obligated to comply with the terms and conditions of the agreement. I'll repeat. I'll repeat. It says, parties to contracts are legally obligated to comply with the terms and conditions of the agreement. If a term or condition of a contract is breached, parties will face legal consequences. So, what does that mean? The documentation, hence the performance agreement that Monique provided you with, is a legally binding contract, which is the reason why, if you looked at the bottom of the contract, you saw initials on both sides, one from the promoter, one from our side. When he said this came from their company, it did, because the artist must have a standard contract she provides as a courtesy to the promoter, because they won't know what it is that they need in order to utilize her services for hire. We wanted to get that granular and specific because DL was comfortable speaking in generalities. And generalities allow things to be hidden, such as the truth.
You know how you keep watching our stories over and over and over again, and the only thing that changes are the faces because the stories remain the same? And if you want our babies to believe that a deal memo is anything close to a contract, what are you feeding us, DL? You know that's a deal memo. You can put anything you want to put in the deal memo.
You put it what you wanted in a contract and didn't get it. So DL told me, hey, my deal memo got me this. I would say I'm going to try to get me that. Just want to point out, your agreement, your whole contract agreement with signatures, and you did not get what you wanted. Thank you, Chef FL. Now you know why she wanted to come out last. She didn't want to give DL a chance to respond. She wanted to end the show blasting him with no response. Look, I never thought about that, and that's fucking true. Let me close the show so he can't have a rebuttal. Let me do that. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. Okay. Thank you, Rach, I don't know. I'm her fan, and I thank you, Jaylee, for being objective. Her and Daddy Son are gaslighting. She threw a boulder and hid in her hand. They are weaponizing Black women, paying to activate us for her. And it ain't gonna work on me. Not on me. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Okay, I got in the voice. It's like, no, it's not gonna happen. And I yes, good point, Chef. I never thought. I'm like, it did make sense because her whole thing was, I want to go there and get at him. And also this too, the promoter can have separate contracts with each performer. Every person has their own requirements. They are not a group. There are two separate entities who do comedy. So everyone else is the problem, and not Monique. Oh, when I Googled Sydney and Monique are actually the same age, I thought she was older. Just curious. I don't know. She thought he would handle the gaslighting the way she does, and he didn't. And he didn't. Because even he when he came on stage, he did not address what she said. He did his own set. Her set was about him and folks who she felt has wronged her all these years. But Chef was absolutely out. Ooh, I never thought about that. She wanted to come out last. She didn't want to give him a chance to respond. She wanted to end the show blasting him with no response. Yes. That is so true. Monique is giving lessons on who not to give your power to. Daddy's son. Do not give your power to daddy's son. Okay? Don't do it.
What you would like. And D.L. Hughley has yet to still show his signed contract. And this is something else that I want to address to us. When I see the comedians having these conversations, it makes my heart hurt for y'all, because it's making me understand how they are able to exploit, take advantage, use, misuse. I understand how it's able to be done, because when y'all start standing up and you're fighting against a sister that's saying you've got to treat us fairly. You're fighting against a sister that's saying, I earned that position as headliner. Didn't nobody give it to me? I earned that position. You got a sister that's saying, listen, I'm, as D.L. Hughley would say, oh, she just selfish and thinking about herself. Anybody that's selfish, D.L. Hughley, would not take a 13-year hit in their career. See, if I was selfish, I would have taken the $500,000 that Tyler Perry tried to offer.
To be quiet about it.
To be quiet and make it go away. If I was selfish, D.L. Hughley, I would have had the conversation privately. See, I know the moment I say it out loud, I know the ridicule is coming. I know it's coming full force, but you know what? I don't care.
And when they say, we don't like the way they do business, why is it they don't get specific about what it is that we've done? The problem that it's had with Monique, as with many black women, y'all not supposed to stand up for yourself. You're not supposed to stand up for yourself. If Tyler Perry says anything they ask me to do is what I do and he's a billionaire, well, who are you to stand up for yourself? See, we know we crazy. We crazy because everything that we're communicating goes, it is counterintuitive if you're trying to get the bag.
You know what, Daddy, though? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But if you're trying to get inner peace, because it's a lot of rich people out here, but they don't have inner peace. Everybody's mama, when they set out for Hollywood, say, don't forget us when you make it. I'm sorry. Don't forget where you come from. That's what they say. Don't forget where you come from. Well, we come from a little place called Baltimore, Maryland. Little place called Baltimore, Maryland. But it's no different from Detroit. It's no different from Philly, D.C., Compton, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. It's no different from Nebraska. It's no different from New York. Where the real people live, they can relate to what it is that we're saying. They appreciate the specificity, the specifics, the granular discussion that we're having. We are not going to talk to you in generalities. You can't ask us, do we have anything up our sleeve, because we came here wearing tank tops. Okay? We want to be transparent with you. I'm sitting next to a black woman who you want to call selfish, but y'all forget when he brought up Lee Daniels. See, Lee Daniels has a support team that tapped into that man's conscience, that made him say, let me go up on stage and give this woman an apology.
We need Uncle Daddy's son to be a goddamn gone support system for Monique. We need her to be around here getting support from someone who was going to help her not look foolish. Okay? That's the part. That's the part that's weird. Like, I don't understand why they don't get it. I really don't get why they don't realize that you look stupid. And to make it seem like other folk had to convince Lee Daniels to finally address what happened with Monique, whatever. But who gonna talk to Monique about fixing her shit? Daddy son, get out my fucking face, bro.
I want my friend back because I know. And if y'all listen to what he said afterwards, it's very important. He said, I got caught up essentially in the hoopla until I realized what was important. And it took an individual who had enough nuts, literally and figuratively, from the trans community named T.S. Madison.
Not saying T.S. Madison, who identifies as Maddie is trans, but why bring up Maddie nuts? Like, for what? 4K. We know that Maddie was the one who helped facilitate Monique and Lee having a, conversation. But stop bringing other folks in your bullshit. Okay? Y'all, like the video. Okay? Go ahead, take a moment, and like the video. Because liking is the thing to do. We've been here for, we for 2 hours and 17 minutes, y'all, and we ain't done. Okay, are y'all ready to go? Is anyone ready to leave? Or y'all ready to go? Are y'all having a good time? Is everyone, are you not entertained? Okay, are you not entertained around here? I want to be sure that everyone around here is having a good time. We still watching because we still have shit left to watch her say. This live will probably be over 3 hours. I didn't plan on that to happen. You know what I'm saying? I hope you're all having a good time around here on the corner. Okay? Get y'all some water. Stay hydrated. It's hot. I had to cut my air conditioner on, so you probably hear my air conditioner blowing over there. Okay? But let's keep going so that no one can say we didn't fully listen to what she had to say. We was cutting her off. We didn't hear this. No. We're going to fully hear all the shit and then, take it from there, okay? And I'm being real careful to not hit the wrong button and lose place because I'm not going to, I can't start that shit over. I can't do that. So I'm being real careful to not lose the place of the video, okay? But let's keep going.
Come on.
To have a real conversation with him. It took his family, his sisters, his people, black women that circled him and said, do right. Do what's right. And you know what? He was big enough as a man to do it. See, we don't fault anybody for making a mistake.
Y'all been faulting DL all day. All day.
Fault comes in when you know you made a mistake and you're not big enough to own what it is that you've done. And this black woman right here, because people have called her selfish. Y'all wasn't there on the set when it was a white gentleman refusing to give Lee Daniels the light he was supposed to get.
Because the white person who wasn't let's bring up the race of the white people. Look, they will bait you in if you let them.
And he said, I'm not going to give Lee the light that he wants. And Monique pulled his car right there and brought Lee over and said, this man is messing with your light. Y'all wasn't there on the set of Almost Christmas when Will Packer was given direction over a black man named David Talbot, who wrote and directed Almost Christmas. And she said, hey, don't disrespect this, what?
Black man.
By giving directions as a producer over the director. If you don't believe us, ask the question. See, y'all weren't there when Monique was on the Parkers. And she said to the individual, because
the Parkers, Nikki Parker, and Kim Parker from the Parkers from UPN. Because the Parkers was on UPN. The Parkers wasn't on CW. The Parkers was on UPN. The Parkers was on when Moesha was on. We still ain't got on there and finished Moesha. The Parkers. Okay. With the Parkers. Really? Dang, mama. You bringing up the Parker girl.
This is what makes her a problem. I need y'all to know she can be difficult. This is what makes her a problem.
She can be difficult. Right. He wasn't even there. Because she wasn't with him back then. The Parkers is from a long time ago. I probably smoked weed when the Parkers was on. I ain't smoked weed in forever. I mean, if Back to the Future was a thing, it'll be this.
The individuals that you call extras, she calls background professionals.
I mean, they check change. Extras mean you're not a regular cast member. Did her name and them something different get them a better check? Okay.
She had a problem that they were sitting around all day and water and lemonade was what they were given. And she said, why won't y'all give them some of the hot food that we eat? Because we ordering out and y'all ain't even eating. See, that is a problem. But who is it a problem for? Is it
Uncle Daddy's son? Look. I think it's amazing that at times in the past, before she got with you, that's what she did. I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing that at a certain time she wanted the extras or the people, whoever that was not main cast members, to have hot, warm food that they was wasting and wasn't eating. Cool. But we also know when you are extra, it's just shit. I don't like him. I don't like Daddy's son at all. Bringing up old shit won't help nothing. Nothing. Okay. Thank you, name I can't pronounce. Oh wait, no. Thank you, name I can't pronounce. I think it's a Joba, baby. I'm bad at names. For the Cash App. Lord on mercy, but the commentary is worth it. I appreciate you, Miss Jaylee. Love and laugh from Toronto. Okay, from Toronto. Daddy's son on bullshit, but let's keep listening.
a problem for the people who are sitting there all day with lemon and water if they get hot food? Because they were there before.
We get there.
Okay, and there
After.
Or is it a problem for the powers that be? And you got to ask yourself, who is she having these challenges with? Is it the powers that be, or is it the people in the support positions trying to uplift the show? And it's the powers that be. Now, if Tyler Perry, if Oprah Winfrey had the courage to do the same thing, Monique never would have been blackballed for 13 years because they would have said, we can't ask that sister to do anything for us for free.
A lot of actors in business do movies and projects for free, for less money, to further get themselves up the line of succession. Not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but we're not going to act like we don't know what's going on. So to make it seem like anyone fully wanted her to do something that no one else ever has done or did, we've heard other actresses speak on this. How you will do a movie and then you do all this promotion because it raises your level of viewership. Okay? Monique won an Oscar for Precious. And had she not had all this backlash about the promotion shit, she could have furthered her because she didn't get paid that much for Precious. For one, we know that for a fact. However, the amazing job you did in Precious could have catapulted you to get other dramatic roles and for no one to see you as the person you was in Fat Girls or in Soul Plane, just a funny black lady. Sometimes when I do reviews and I come on here, I can't always be the ha girl. I gotta read some shit and be serious because you want folks to see that you're not this one way. Monique for a long time was the fat girl who was funny. It is what it is. That's no shade. 'Cause I'm also fat too. Ain't no shade. However, if she don't get that she could have been further along, that's on her. So to make it seem like, okay, Oprah and Tyler and Lee or whoever wanted her to do something that no one else has ever done, it's foolish to me based on what we know about the music and TV industry. Period. I told you on YouTube, you have to work up to even get your channel monetized. You can be doing YouTube videos for a year and not be making no money because you're building up your platform. But he don't want folks to get that. But I do. That's why I don't go live on IG much. You know why? Because I don't get paid on IG. I get paid on YouTube. I've worked my ass off to only come to a platform where I get paid to do shit. But I had to work my way up to being around here, to having 1,100 folks in the chat. I couldn't get nobody on my lives when I started. I had to build up to that shit. And sometimes I don't have that because you know what I'm saying? You built up. So I'm like, miss me with the bullshit of anything. Yeah, Whoopi told her that. And folks wanted it to be like, oh, Whoopi was saying, be a yes, sir, boss. And that ain't what it is. Just saying.
When we don't have a contract for her to do anything with us.
Thank you, baby. Because I want to address something.
Kick it.
His hand on her back like a ventriloquist. It is. Daddy's son on bullshit.
And I want you black women to hear what this black man is saying.
Because God forbid she wasn't talking to the black women about the black man, daddy's son, sitting next to her. God forbid we forgot that she black and he black. God forbid we were blind and could not see that she was a black woman. He was like, you have to mention the race of it all. And I ain't talking to no white folk. I ain't talking to you. It's only black people. Okay.
I gave Monique a chance. D.L. Hughley said he gave me a chance.
And what I think he meant was, because of the things I've heard about her over the years, I gave her a chance in me working with her. I don't think he meant anything more than that. I think in life we hear about people who could be difficult and we decide to not work with them. But you then, you know what, let me give her a chance to prove the things I've heard about her wrong. That does not mean that he felt like he was over you or you were, below him or you were submissive. I don't think he meant that at all. I fully got what he meant by saying that. I can also see why she could be offended by it, but I'm like, but she read it and it's a little bit too much. Thank you, Loretta. Look to the past to be better with the future. These two are tiresome. They are, and this is why I could not cut this video down. I refuse to rewatch it for a 4 hour, 2 hours. Cut it down for 2 hours. I refuse to take 2 hours to cut this down, and then have to come on here again. I was like, no, ma'am, we're gonna sit through the shit together as a team. Okay.
Well, here will be the question: to do what? What did you give me a chance to do? You weren't the promoter. No monies came from you. Who are you that you would be giving me a chance? The arrogance that you could speak like that I gave her a chance to do what, DL? And then if you're going to tell it, please don't mislead people. DL and I were scheduled to do another show together. I want us to address it, and I want y'all to do your homework. If you remember the Super Bowl show that happened in LA, there was a time that D.L. Hughley was on that show. And then there was a time that he just wasn't.
But you were the what on that show?
Headliner. I was the headliner.
At that show, you were the headliner. At that show, you were the headliner. At that show, you were the headliner. What does that show that, as you said yourself, he wasn't at? He was supposed to be there, but he was not there. And at that show, you were the headliner. And he did say he was offered 4 or 5 shows, and he made the choice to not do them, but made the choice to do this one here in Detroit. So again, she's talking in a way that make you think the other show we had together, I was the headliner. Right, but he wasn't there. I have no dog in this fight, but I do want to make sure I'm making sure y'all are aware of what she's trying to smoke and mirror us to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for it. Not today, not ever. Not on my watch.
On that show. All these other times that he speaks about, it never came across our desk. So stop trying to pull the wool over the community's eyes.
Monique.
And what I would ask of the community.
Oh, what? What
I would beg of us.
What you begging for?
Stop being so quick to jump on the bus, whichever way it goes down the street.
I waited. I waited for each person's point of view and gave an opinion based on each person's point of view. And I'm making sure to show this video in its entirety so no one can then say, I only got half her story. No. You got everything. Everything. You wanted folk to jump on your bus against DL without giving us all the facts. Again, you want us to do something or to not do something that you did. You wanted everyone to jump on your bus of not liking DL based on you saying he stole your headlining spots and the contract. You did all that. When the truth was, you always planned to read him for filth. Period. So when I say it's fucking smoke and mirrors, and I hate that people feel like, oh, you just don't like Monique. That ain't it. But when someone I like and who I respect, because she's a veteran in this game, a fellow black woman, a fellow plus size black woman at that, okay, I respect her. But however, you have to call people out on their bullshit when they're giving it to you. My opinion right now is solely based on everything she's saying. I'm not having to allude to shit. Because you're giving us all the info we need to make a sound decision. And the sound decision based on you and Daddy's son is y'all on some bullshit.
Be brave enough to listen to what it really is, not your emotions, not what you listen to, the facts of what it is. Go back and listen to what I said. I feel sorry for your family. I feel sorry for your wife.
People feel sorry for us to have to watch your Daddy's son on this bullshit. Y'all feel sorry for me because I had to watch this? You know what I'm saying? The fuck? It's what?
Listen to what I said. Listen to what I said when that man said, would your husband, or that woman said, would your husband rather sleep with these people?
That had nothing to do with DL. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even there.
Ricky Smiley, would you be offended if someone said that about your loved ones?
Ricky Smiley would crack a joke back. Ricky Smiley and Lunel was on the radio yesterday cracking jokes about him forgetting Lunel's name, them fucking joking about all kind of crazy shit. You and Daddy's son is on some bullshit. Completely on some bullshit.
How about you, Roland Martin? Would you be offended if someone if someone asked you that about your wife? How about you, Kim Whitley?
What Kim do? Kim ain't did shit. What is wrong with you? Please know that we love you because this right here is some crazy delusional bullshit. I stopped caring a long time ago and I'm just listening to your commentary. And that's why we're here, to have a conversation about my commentary about the bullshit of it all. Because it's complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And yes, please like the video. Okay, do your due diligence and hit the like button. Okay? Because I'm like, like Kim, like, don't bring me into this. Leave Kim Whitley alone. Kim Whitley didn't. What did Kim and not Roland Martin? Like what did they do? Someone commented on my IG page and said how Monique and DL have us all in their group chat. They fuss in the group chat, but we all a part of it. I'm like, honey, this bull of the shit. Okay, bull of the shit.
And he was also speaking in reference to wanting to give Monique a chance, and his people had warned him against it, as if he had some sort of prophecy seeing into the future ability.
No, what he meant was, if we are comedians, and y'all know what comedians, venues reach out to people and say, hey, let's book a show. His point to me was, over the years, as us being fellow comedians, why don't you and her do a show together? No, thank you. No, I'm good. In the YouTube world, people in the YouTube world would say, hey, you should collab on something. No, thank you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But when you want to collab, you collab when you have the time. Like, I can't wait to collab with Chris, C Diggy One. I can't wait to do another video with Maddie. I can't wait to do something with, you know what I'm saying? You work with who you want to work with. But if someone say, hey, work, no, I'm good. Wishing the best. No, I'm good. Just saying.
Let's clarify why he felt that way.
Why did he feel that way?
See, there was a show that he was doing on TV One called the DL Hughley Show.
Yes.
They reached out to me to ask if Monique would come on the show. I informed them, per her statement to me, that she would not be coming on the show.
Come on. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The camera went off and they had to come back around.
You got it, sweetness? Okay.
They then came back and asked why. I said to Monique, would you like me to tell her? She said, please do. I expressed to them, Monique did not feel comfortable going on a show with an individual or supporting a man that she thought was a friend that would blindside her with the question that was ultimately putting our people down.
Let's reiterate, DL wasn't there. He didn't do anything. He ain't had shit to do with what was asked. You asked him to not air it. They didn't air it. You feel blindsided by a question about Daddy's son and held on to that shit for years. Not only held on to that shit for years, but then proceeded to use that as the reason you did not like him. I just need y'all to get the bullshit that's being done in our face. Okay? The woman and Daddy's son who are saying, why was, DL being tender about Monique saying or joking that he was on the DL taking up the butt in his wife, or whatever. But you was being tender about a joke or question that DL did not even ask you. You held that grudge. DL didn't hold that grudge. And I feel like if that offended Monique and she held on to that, that could have been what built up this animosity between her and him. Because, again, you mad about he wasn't there. Y'all.
So it was at that moment that DL knew there was a problem between Monique. But if you notice, he never made mention about that.
Why not?
See, we get into the specifics because we don't have anything to hide.
I'm sorry, Daddy. The way DL Hughley is playing it is as if I just came from out of left field and just jumped on this man. No.
You haven't even said in this live what beside that one situation that he wasn't even involved in that got you upset. Had you said DL made that question specifically for me and he told me he did it for me, I would kind of get it. But for you to say that he wasn't even there, it wasn't asked by him. And when I talk to him about it and said, you shouldn't air it. It then wasn't aired. So to me, it do seem like you have the issue, not him. You making it seem like, oh, he's acting like he has no idea why I'm mad. I don't know why you mad. I'm still confused.
No, DL. See, what you can't erase are the interviews. You can't erase your words.
But the gotcha, what you keep going back to is that question. And if the interviews he did was after you made it clear that he has an issue with you, and he then is speaking on you in interviews based on what he's hearing, the same way you have spoken on other people based on what you heard, how is that any different?
Those are your words. You can't erase calling me mentally ill. You can't erase calling me all of these slick things, brother.
I mean, some things seem to be what it is. Again, I'm not saying that I think Monique has a mental illness. I can say I can see how someone else would think that. Because I'm pretty sure DL may have more insight to who she is or this or that based on them probably knowing the same people. So him thinking that, you know what, she's mentally ill. He may think that. Some people say Kanye West is mentally ill. You know what I'm saying? People have opinions on people based on what they've shown us. So to me, the specific thing of saying how he think I'm mentally ill, I'm bitter. Look how you have been acting. And again, this is not a Team DL situation at all. This is not in defense to DL. This is strictly based on what Monique is saying about someone. Thank you, Savannah. Doll. Kevin Hart was able to demand promotional in his first big movie because of Monique. The producer blasted him, calling him a money whore. Monique is playing the long game for change. However, I agree this was a planned attack. What that? Kevin Hart was able to demand promotion. Huh? The producer blasted him, calling him a money whore. If Monique was able to help other folk and not herself, that makes Monique, not smart. Because if you can help other folks and see how they move in the industry and you not do the same, are you the victim? No, not at all. However, she does seem bitter. The fact that she keeps bringing up an interview from 15 years ago or however long ago it was. Okay, she's bringing up something so old shows she's holding on to something that makes her upset. Anybody who's wronged me in my past, I give no fucks. I'm not holding on to any of that. Because when you hold on to past transgressions, that's the definition of being bitter. Because you're still holding on to that hurt from it. You're bitter from it. And you use it as an excuse to be the better person you are. I want Monique to be able to be healed, to be emotionally and mentally and spiritually happy. You can tell she's not, because she's complaining about shit from when Tupac and Biggie was alive. That's crazy to me. Thank you, Keaton. Point. So what does Monique get from all of this? I don't get her strategy. I don't think Daddy's son is on some bullshit confusing her. And it isn't helping. And that does not mean that Monique won't still have fans. It does not mean that she won't book shows here and there. However, any big thing that she was hoping to get probably won't really happen. And we're happy she got booked for a BMF season 2. We don't know how big her role is. But okay, kudos to her. But why even try to put yourself back down a path saying, hey, I plan to do this to DL because that's what I want to do. Okay. Well, live with it.
That's what you said. And now you tender. Now you're trying to trick our community So when you're talking about I turn people against you, no, DL, you do a fine, mighty job of that yourself.
Ditto. You are doing a fine, mighty job of making us feel like, does Monique have mental health issues? Is Monique bitter? She's coming out bitter. You're helping his narrative. If you think his narrative is whatever, you are helping his narrative by your own actions.
And what happens is when you get your own medicine, now we sit here. And I want to address something else, Daddy. When I listen to people like D.L. Hughley, and it says, and calling him daddy, that's so weird. And I listen to the people like the Breakfast Club. This daddy thing, that's so weird. And I listen to some other people. Isn't it weird that they got us thinking love is weird to each other?
In addition to they fail.
Love is not weird to people. Some folk don't like some folk call people daddy. That is weird to some people. But for y'all to love each other, that's great. Cool. But don't make it seem as if we weird because we saying daddy. Daddy? And it's how she says it. I'm like, it's just weird. Thank you, Nikisha, for super chat. Good work on all of this, Jaylee. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't want shit else to come out tomorrow. I want what I can because tomorrow I got to be back in the panel. Anyway, but again, right. Calling someone daddy does not equate to love. Deflection is a whole drug and she's hooked on it. And Hughley calling her man daddy is also weird. We've all said that before. But Damon don't call Hughley mama. Damon called Hughley heavenly. I'm not calling my dude daddy. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. It's weird to me because he's not my daddy. Now we've seen people who are parents and they'll call each other mom and dad because the kids say mom and dad. I've seen that, but the dad, no, it's different. Hey, go ask your dad. You know what I'm saying? That. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the bullshit. Help me. You know
To mention that I refer to her
as mama. So we have bought into people having enough reverence and honor and respect to call each other mama and daddy, and they've made our community believe that that is weird.
You can call him husband because he's your husband. He can call you wife because you're his wife. I call my sister, and brother. I call my mother mom. I call my dad father. I rarely ever call my sister, my brother by their actual name. Sister, brother, that's they're called. So you can hey husband, hey wife. That's love. So don't make it seem as if anyone who thinks it's weird or different for y'all to call each other mommy and dad, because it's how y'all, hey daddy. It's weird.
Really? So again, when I say I feel sorry for your family, I stand on what I said.
And he was insulted.
Because anytime you're pouring into the community to show your spouse how much reverence you have for them, how much love and honor, and y'all have bought into it is weird. And I want to address it because I see some people writing down, oh, that go her husband again. That go, yes, there he goes again. God damn it. There he goes. Here he will stay. And because it looks so unfamiliar.
Right.
It does not look unfamiliar to me to see a husband with his wife. To insinuate that people are not used to seeing a husband and a wife is condescending. Okay? What they mean is, oh, here goes. It means shut the fuck up. Let Monique talk. It does not mean I can't believe I'm seeing a husband and wife. We love seeing husbands and wives. All up and through. Or just, a couple. Because, there are folks who aren't married, but who are in love. Oprah and Stedman ain't married. But again, we love this love. Don't try to make our confusion or us being conflicted about him consistently being the issue be weird on our part. If you think that we are weird because we're not used to seeing a husband and wife, you're being a bitch, Monique, because you're making it seem as if we don't have parents in our lives, that we don't have grandparents or married folk in our lives. So you're being condescending. You're being a bit of a bitch, about things. So don't make people dislike of your husband based on how he comes off, as we have an issue because we not used to seeing a husband and wife. We don't like your husband.
To see a black man standing with his black wife.
Oh, black and black.
Because it looks so unfamiliar to us,
it's unfamiliar for us to see a black man with his black wife. That's not unfamiliar to me.
Us sweet babies will try to pull it apart.
But when you get pulled up
Sydney,
by Miss Sherilyn in the Whole Foods and she grab you by your arm and she pull up her girlfriend who easily was in her early 70s and they say, we proud of how you stay by that black woman.
What?
We proud of what y'all doing.
Who?
We can take all the ridicule, all the insults from anyone.
Okay.
What we trying to imply and confirm for individuals that are together, utilize your mate, because the system, the business, the world is designed to divide us.
But so are y'all.
Out of the individuals that you've seen talking about the poor treatment that women get in this industry, how come you never see their management with them?
How come?
And the reason is, it is not in the best interest of management to speak to the bias that is attached to their black artists. And the reason being, they are beholden to the studios. Because as Monique was told by a former manager of a larger agency, and I witnessed it, he said, it is in our best interest to be on the side of the studios. Why? Because artists come and go, but the studios still stay.
And when y'all are saying, Monique called DL, I have no reason to call DL Hughley.
You have no reason to call the person you say you have an issue with. But you want to include us in y'all bullshit. You won't call DL, but you'll go live on IG to address everyone else about your issues with him. You won't call DL, but you plotted and planned to do a whole show just to go off on that man. Okay.
If DL Hughley would like to talk to me and my husband, there's an open invitation. We would love to come on the show. But
y'all would love to come on DL's show to have a conversation. Okay, yes, I'm going to bring you on my platform for you to keep coming at me how you did at the show, which I now found out you plan to do. Yes, I won't call you and talk to you one-on-one, but I will fully come on your show to have a public display of what's going on. Right. Right. Because that's what makes us, that's what doesn't divide people. Because I love us for real. And because I love us so much, I'm not willing to have an adult conversation with somebody who I feel wronged me because of a joke that he wasn't even there that was asked of me about my husband.
See, I didn't open up the door to this.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You started this shit because you based it on a fucking joke that he wasn't even around. That girl, get out my fucking face.
DL Hughley opened up the door. Now you want to run and hide and close it, and now you want to talk and act as if you have been victimized?
I don't think he came off as a victim. I think he came off responding to what you said.
That's where the shame should come in.
That's a shame.
That's where the shame and the embarrassment should come in. See, there's no interviews y'all can find of me speaking about DL Hughley. There's not one interview in the history of interviews that you will find me speaking ill about DL Hughley.
You are right now. We can play this shit back. We won't. But we wanted any kind of footage of you talking about that man and the disdain you've had for that man since the old interview where they asked you if Sydney can fuck Lee Daniels or Cameron Stephens. It started from there. And sometimes you don't have to speak on folk to not like folk and not have ill will. Just saying.
Not one, but there are several out there of him speaking of me.
And others.
And you're right, Daddy, because it ain't personal. And others. You run your mouth. And now I would like to address the dog and your dad.
Okay.
Because I always want to make sure I'm playing folks fairly.
Okay, fair.
See, really read what was written in reference to you having a support dog. Really read it, my sweet babies. Don't let a person like D.L. Hughley cloud your head on what he wants you to know. The words are there. The words are a person that would need a support dog is a person that should never speak ill about anybody because they have their own concerns and issues that they're dealing with. Now, when you speak about your children and your family gave you that dog because you were really close with your dad and the love that y'all have and you want to keep him with you all the time, I respect that. And I hope that your dad told you, son, don't mess with people that's not messing with you.
But he wasn't messing with you.
You're going to get your ass handed to you.
He wasn't messing. The killing part is it seemed like DL wasn't really fucking with her. Situations were happening involving Monique, and while doing it, we know this too. We also know that in the world of entertainment, when you do interviews, they will ask you about your fellow whoever's. What do you think about so and 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 so? It'll ask you that. They'll ask you that. You know, we've seen people have to pivot around answering questions about things they do not want to talk about. So I don't think DL was ever like doing interviews based on Monique. I think they was asking them shit based on things that was happening in the world, Craig. In the world. But going at that man and that damn dog about his father is crazy. It's crazy.
I hope your dad shared that with you. So as you're walking the dog full of love in reference to your dad that is respected, I hope you take the principles and the morals and the values that Mr. Hughley fed into you to say, hey, brother, treat people like you want to be treated.
Don't you ever in your life. And this is something else. Don't be around here bringing up my daddy, what you taught me. Don't do that. Don't speak my dead father. Don't do that. Right. Now the dog is involved. Don't do that. And again, Monique is making people feel like it's not her. Right. She's shading him right now. Shading him and his damn daddy. You know, yeah, she's the one who started all of this. And I think her saying, hopefully your daddy taught you this, is her way of saying he probably ain't teach you shit.
Now, you treated Monique like you wanted to be treated. You talk shit to that baby for years, and then Saturday night, you got tender. How does that make sense for all the comedians that's watching? What are we teaching them, DL? Are we teaching them it's okay to act that way? For the older veteran comedians that got involved into this conversation right here and y'all started speaking foolishly, what are we telling the babies coming behind us? See, that's important to me. I know for some of y'all, it ain't important to y'all. You got yours, they got theirs to get. It's important to me what they see. It's important to me that they did see that contract. I'm glad you showed that contract. Sweet babies, if you are your own business, you should have your own contract. I don't know what kind of business DL does, that he would have a deal memo and say that that is a contract.
And you now know, for those who didn't know before and those who heard, the difference between a deal memo and a legal binding agreement. That deal memo is not enforceable. So why would he give you a deal memo that is not enforceable in the court of law? Look it up for yourself. Versus showing you a contract, a standard contract that has been written up by our attorney. And please understand, in your 32-year history of being a stand-up comedian, how many times has this happened?
This is the first time.
And we understand the promoter needed to grow a pair and tell DL what this situation was, because he got on the phone with our attorney and I and said he couldn't understand why DL's people were acting the way that they were acting when we don't have a contract. I made a verbal commitment to him.
Boom. The promotion people had a verbal agreement with DL. They then upheld that verbal agreement. So even if the producing people or the promotion people or whatever, the promoters did not understand why DL team was acting that way, as he also just said, because of the verbal commitment you made to someone.
But we don't have a written contract.
Did not have a written contract, but they still upheld what DL wanted. The fact that the promoters was telling you, he did tell DL something. DL held fast what he was told. The issue should have been with the promoters, but Monique used that situation as the reason she went on stage and did that. When in hindsight and explanation, after 3 hours and 2 minutes, we know she planned the whole time to do that to that man. That was always her plan. So if y'all don't think, as DL said, that Monique is the queen of ashes because she's burning shit to the ground, she is. You snitching on yourself by saying the promoters even said how we don't know why he was upset, even though we had a verbal agreement, but not one in writing. Y'all mean to tell me y'all had the promotion and banners and all this shit put up in Detroit and never had a signed contract with him, and the day of the show y'all still let him do what he was supposed to do? If y'all don't realize it's the fucking promoters who did this, y'all are fucking fools. But that don't even matter. You wanna know why? Because Monique always planned to do what she did. She told on herself. She gave reasons as why she was upset, fine. But she told on herself by saying, I always planned to do this. Daddy Son said how the promotion people said, oh, we don't know why he think this way, even though we had a verbal agreement with him about it. They then upheld the verbal agreement. I ain't no fool.
Okay. Now, I don't know about you in 2022, because we don't have horses tied up to a stick outside for them waiting for us, where a handshake and your word supposed to mean something. The man said, I didn't have a contract. Now, he could have been lying.
He gave DL got what he wanted. Can't no one tell me who I have a contract with, hey, I don't have a contract with that person, so I don't know what they're saying. And they expect me to bow down. Now, if Monique is a brick wall, as she said, if she's a brick wall, why did she not be that brick wall and hold steadfast to going on last? If DL said, I won't go on if she goes on after me, then why didn't them promoters allow DL to not perform?
But DL provided you with a memorandum of understanding. A memo is what it said. You read it. So when you get a chance to see it, compare it, listen. Don't be afraid to go with what's right, because they will get you based upon who's popular. Don't do that to yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice.
And I want to address it, Daddy.
Kid.
For those of you who had questions about my professionalism on that stage, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it for a long time. So for those of you who had questions about how I handle my stage performance, listen, that's my stage performance, and I'm unapologetic about it, Vivica. I'm unapologetic about that stage that I go on.
Vivica who?
Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, not again.
I'm unapologetic about what I do on that stage. What you are not is a stand-up comedian by far. So for you to have any questions about it, ask somebody that can really educate you on what that stage is, not someone that want to host and take female comedians around and get paid off of their craft. See, I don't mess with anybody, y'all.
And a lot of individuals that have had a lot to say have been individuals that have confided in Monique. They were friends.
Through the years.
Like Sister.
It's like Sister Vivica, like Sister Kim Whitley, like through the years, y'all. So it is important for me to say this. It is important for me to talk to the little girls who is not here yet. It is important for me to talk to the babies who's in the 7th grade and 8th grade and 9th grade and they thinking about getting in this business. It is important for me to let y'all know what to look out for. I'm obligated to do that, and I'm going to tell you why. When y'all gave me the title of Auntie, I didn't ask for it. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't campaign for it. I didn't write a letter. That's what you babies begin to call me, and I took it as an obligation.
And an honor.
And an honor for a community to now look at me as a 54-year-old woman and call me Auntie. So my job is, and I'm obligated to say, this is what you must look out for. This is what you must watch out for. Because people that you welcome into your home, people that you break bread with, people that has cried on your shoulders, baby, you cannot be in your feelings when they go across the street and get on the bus to say, well, now we're going down to the left. It ain't personal. It's just what it is when you know the history of Hollywood. However, what I want y'all to know about me, it's important. I am not the sister. I'm making sure, Daddy, that it. What I am not is the sister that you can poke, that you can say what you want to say, that you can make fun of and you can joke, because what I am is a comedian. What I am is a comedian. That's.
You a comedian who didn't take shit funny. You're a comedian who was offended by a joke. You are a comedian who was gaslighting women and black people to be against somebody else because of your tenderness. What you want is for us to accept Daddy's son. You still out the frame. Why is he fully visible? Why you cut off on the side? Why this cut off, Monique? Why for? Because Uncle Daddy ain't shit. Okay? So, it's about 5 more minutes, y'all. I'm gonna let it play out, and I'll come back on and talk to y'all. But then I'm letting it play out and stop talking.
What y'all forget. And see, Vivica, when you questioned and you said you side-eyed the audience about them saying they were clapping for me, and how could she do that? Were you listening to the audience in front of me? They were entertained, sister. They were laughing. Some were standing. Some were hollering. They were enjoying themselves. So I hope now you don't take what I'm saying to you personal, because I don't take it personal. I just want to address it so that maybe y'all will think twice before y'all start speaking on people's lives and their decisions, because you have your own issues.
And we have to stop being comfortable with hearing the tea spilled on someone else, but now you are uncomfortable with a black woman sharing her own personal experiences.
Yes.
She ain't dropping dimes. She ain't spilling the tea on nobody else. She's not spreading a rumor on somebody. That we're comfortable with that. She's telling to you, and she's speaking to you in reference to how do we avoid the pitfalls that's out there designed to catch us up.
How? So, June 18th, I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Come on.
At the Duke Energy Center. And will I have some shit to say? Yes, but I keep the stage the stage. I keep this. When we talk to our community, it's in nothing but love. And I love us for real. Despite what y'all want to think, I even love the ones even more who don't get it. I love the black women even more who tell me to shut up and sit down because I know I got to fight for your babies. Because you damn sure not.
She ain't talking about me.
You damn sure not. So for every person out there, every black woman out there, I'm speaking to us. Every woman out there, be unflinching in your position. Be unwavering in your position. And don't let a damn soul bully you. I don't care who it is. Let them know when they run into you, they running into a wall. So D.L. Hughley, you ran into a wall, brother. You ran into somebody that said, I ain't taking that land down.
And when you run into an individual, because people don't understand why Monique is the way that she is. See, when you run into an individual, because you wanted to tell your story in reference to the dog and your history and things of that nature, and that's fair. You're looking at a woman that was molested at 7 by her brother, her older brother, okay? 15, 16 years old. Then that brother walks her down the street and lets 2 other of his friends do the same thing to her. When she gets old enough and understands the level of violation that she experienced without her mother and father coming to her aid, she realized I gotta sometimes do this myself.
I just want to pop in and say this because it aggravates the fuck out of me when anyone uses childhood trauma as an excuse for adult fucking behavior. And you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't then make people feel like I can't be upset. I can't be upset because of what she went through. I can't blame. I'm 40 years old. I can't use the fact that whatever I went through as when I was younger as a reason to be a fucked up individual as an adult. And it aggravates me that they're pulling all these other issues in to make folk feel bad for her. And that ain't it. That isn't it. What happened to her is very unfortunate. It happened to a lot of us in different ways at different ages. But if y'all don't see them trying to pull in all these other things to make us feel some kind of way, it's gaslighting at its best. Okay? And now I'm going to go off.
I gotta fight. I'm not gonna let nobody else take nothing else from me. The only difference now is daddy and mama, we gonna stand together in this and let folks know that's what you're supposed to do. They got us fooled in believing what we doing is odd, is wrong. No, we supposed to stand together and uplift our community. And black men out there who out here attacking these black women for taking a position, that's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of weakness. And I want to shout out the good brothers like David Banner.
Come on. Come on.
I want to shout out the good brothers like our main man from Full Force, Bow-Legged Lou.
Come on.
Who always shout us out.
Come on.
Okay, they supportive and say, stand strong.
Come on.
Maurice Duncan. That y'all don't know, but that's my man. He's a PR cat. They get some of the baddest cats on there.
We can't forget Mr. Nashville.
Can't forget Brother Larry Nashville.
Cannot. And I want to shout out a sister. Couple of them. One sister's name is Corey B.
Come on.
And that sister goes on the road with me. And when that sister told me after it was said and done, not when it was happening in the moment, when I found out people were putting her off of shows because of her relationship with me, and she looked at me and said, if you rockin', I'm rolling, bitch. I don't care about them people put me off them shows. See that sister right there? She one of the baddest in the game. But there's another sister in this game that is a legend, that is a vet, that is so brilliant in what she does. And that sister's been calling me the whole way through. And her name is Roseanne Barr.
Come on.
The one we tried to throw away. See, I can't name the other black female comedians that say, hey, sis, I'm just calling to check on you. Just want to make sure you good, because the fight is for y'all, goddammit.
Roseanne Barr? Girl.
Because if she's sitting here with some of the most prestigious awards, she's sitting here as the only comedian in the history. And some people will say Whoopi Goldberg. No, she's the most brilliant comedic actress in history in terms of what she's done. She's a monologuist. But in terms of a stand-up comedian, Monique is the only female stand-up comedian in the history that is of color to have ever won an Academy Award. And you can tell me about the white one that's won it. A 22-year running sitcom, the first black woman in the history of the game to have a sitcom go 5 years, 100 episodes. But y'all didn't know that, and they don't want to talk about that. They want to keep it quiet, because if you don't speak about what it is that what you've done, then it's like you've done nothing.
And DL, let me address you on this, brother. When you say it's what you're doing right now, see, you've made people believe I've stopped being a stand-up comedian.
Come on.
I've never stopped being a stand-up comedian, baby. I've been out there on that road doing my thing the whole time. So stop trying to put a false narrative out there. That's Steve Harvey's big word. Stop trying to put a false narrative out there that, oh, I just disappeared. No, brother, Hollywood doesn't stop the show. You know that, DL. You've been in those comedy clubs. As a matter of fact, there were times you was leaving and I was coming. We didn't stop doing what we do, so why ever would you try to feed that into the community?
And I also want to thank Brother 50.
Come on.
Curtis Jackson.
Come on.
You didn't have to say what you said.
Come on.
But you did. Appreciate you. One black man to another.
I want to talk right to our baby. From one black woman to that beautiful, pure-hearted black man.
Who?
And let me be clear. I'm saying Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is of pure heart.
On what earth? On this earth? Girl, the fuck bye.
So when y'all get to talking about, oh, 50, you next, oh, that's a man, that's a king.
50 Cent is have you not heard of the pure foolish shit he said about black women in acting? And he went at Taraji P. Henson, trying to put her against power when she was on Empire. Really? No, girl, get out my fucking face.
He's of pure heart, baby, and he's principled. See, we have conversations offline and people got to saying, she ain't thanked 50 and she ain't said nothing to 50. We don't have to have our relationship online. And that brother ain't said nothing. When people tried to turn that thing into something ugly that it was not. So again, for you, brother, Curtis.
We love you.
We love you, baby. And there are those out there that we don't know your names. We want you to know we love you. We want you to know for the ones that's been down with us, been rocking with us, been buying the tickets, we love y'all and thank you, my babies. So we appreciate y'all joining us on this live. DL, an open invitation.
And I want to share one thing with you.
Share it, baby.
Leave you with this. Something I heard, this ain't from me. It says the individual has always had to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try, you will be lonely often and sometimes afraid. But there's no price too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself.
We love y'all, my sweet babies.
For free.
I I love you.
I just, you don't know. You know what? Take 1 second and like the video. We're going to have a quick chat and then we're going to be done. Because I needed a moment to gather myself because ended it on we love y'all for free. You know, we love 50 cents. We support Roseanne Barr. I don't understand. I fully I don't get it. I don't. Some folk will always cat for Monique. That's fine. It's fine. I don't want anyone to not like Monique. But again, I've always said if someone showed you who they are, show them who you are, Simba. When someone shows you who they are and you see the fucking foolishness that's going on and you choose to still rock with them, that's cool. But you have to get some folk have to call people out, you know, for stuff that's not right. And she gaslit people and she tried to hoodwink and bamboozle us, and it ain't work on me. And in that same breath, I still want Monique to win. I still want Monique to be better. I still want Monique to heal. I want Monique to be able to let go of all the shit that she talked about from back when Biggie and Tupac was alive. I want her to let shit go from 2009. I want her to let shit go from all of that. Daddy's son got her already thinking that, you know what I'm saying, it's her world and all she wants to nut. No, it's not Monique's world. And she won't get that until it's too late, in my opinion, because out of all of this, when we thought she would come on here and say sorry, the reason she did not want to say sorry was because it was always her plan to do what she did. So she isn't sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like she isn't sorry. It is what it is. But how do we get here? I'm like, what happened? I don't know. It's weird as fuck. Okay. However, after watching that full long live, honey, we've been on here for 3 hours and 23 minutes. Okay, I am tired. I gotta pee. I'm hungry. I want to sleep. Because I had to watch it for the hour the first time and then watch it the second time. I just, you know, we can still want her to win while holding her accountable. People act like it can't do both. When he said, when has she said sorry about anything? Never. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. How, Sway? How? Okay. Maybe they son got their legs. I don't think he do. I don't. She's upset. She knows it wasn't about a contract, but DL isn't a part of her contract. She played the people in the audience to make them think her main issue was the contract shit. And that wasn't what it was. As she said, she planned it. So I'm looking like, you know, I feel hood with the bamboos and let it straight. Okay. However, y'all, we are done for today. We are done for today. Okay. I hope everyone had a whole good time for this long live, honey. Long. I had not done a 3-hour show in the panel. Y'all know the panel was tomorrow. The Ladies panel tomorrow on Lisa's channel. Y'all know every Thursday we have a good time. That's tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. I will do my Basketball Wives and couple retreat review sometime tomorrow afternoon because I was supposed to do it today, but I am tired. But I hope y'all all enjoyed your time here. Okay, we always have a good time. Okay, and at the end of the day, okay, we have to know that sometimes you have to see everything full out to form an opinion. And I formed mine by watching the thing full out. And it was what it was. Okay. So have a good night. I will talk to y'all tomorrow during my Bathroom Wife Live, which will probably be around 5 o'clock. And then the panel again is at 9:30 on the channel. I have to go. I love you all. Peace, peace, and peace.